Hello everybody and welcome, it's your boy Logic and we're back here with another live stream. So we're going to be going through the Silence and the Fury DLC and the FLC, having a discussion here and also going through the patch notes. We're going to go through all of the new things here coming forward for the DLC and how it's going to change Warhammer and some other things going through here in the future. So how is everybody doing today? Looks like we have CJ in the chat as well as Deadly Bunnies. I hope everybody's having a brilliant day today. You guys excited for the Grail nerf with -2 melee attack for the Relique? Yeah, I mean, that's quite funny. I'm not too sure why they've done that, but it seems like they've done that for sure. We'll also be doing a little bit more than that today, so we'll also be going through the tier list. There's something that I predict that might be coming forward in the future, and then we'll also be going through lots of other things and bits and bobs as well. So in front of you here, I actually do have the brand new video here, given out today by Total Warhammer here by CA. So I hope you guys are excited to see this, and yeah, is there anything here in the chat, any of you guys that are watching right now, that perhaps you'd like to see maybe a little bit of today as well? Maybe put some ideas down and some stuff you think we might want to go through, and then yeah, we'll go through some of that stuff as well. So it looks like here it says there's no data for the live stream. Hopefully some of you guys can hear me. Let's have a look here. So it looks as if, just double check this, yeah, so it looks as if I'm doing fine on my end. Don't know about your end for you guys. How you doing, Crow? Good evening, good evening. How are we doing, Derek Cross? Who complains about dwarfs? I do. Yes.
Hold on to your Warhammer.
So let's go through here. We're gonna go watch the Silence and the Fury, and they're gonna. This is the video that they put out earlier, and then we're gonna go into it. This hero is so good that I'm not too sure what you're talking about, Sergeant Spaghetti. I assume you're talking about the new Beastmen heroes. But we'll go through, we'll have discussions, and we'll get through this. Now, of course, a lot of the stuff I'm going to be talking about are going to be my own personal opinion, so please be aware of that. A lot of it is going to be what I think is going to come in the future, and we'll also have discussions here between ourselves. And also, here's the one thing I'm going to very quickly say here before we get started. For anybody that does really want to support the channel here, obviously, really leaving a like here on this live stream, and also subscribing really does help here. It really does help me grow. Obviously, I really would like to get to that 1,000 subscribers so I can become a partner here with CA, and also support myself on YouTube. It's a bit of a double bonus there if I'm able to do that, because then I can give you guys more early access. I'm trying to give you what I can when I can. So obviously, if we can do that together, that'd be insane. But yeah, let's go in and let's watch this video then.
Hold on to your Warhammers. It's patch notes time. Beastman traits are changing. Fleet-footed's been removed from Laws and Heroes. Nurgle's foul stink is slightly more bearable. Boost cravings makes you a better leader, which is actually quite realistic. And for the dwarfs, improved gyrocopter engines now lets you shoot and fly, just as Morgrim intended. Malakor's finally stretching his wings. Precursor missile weapons have had an upgrade. Certain chariot collisions have been optimized, and we've given Warden and Punch and Twisted and Twilight unit cards a facelift. You're welcome. Lizardmen units have had a cheeky little shuffle around. Single entity monsters have fancy, bespoke category icons. Never miss a beat with the passive ability recharge display. I call it the Pard. Just for fun. Bugs!
That's really nice.
Some are gone. We call that progress. Goats, geckos, and grudges galore in the July 2021 update. Go to the Total War website to read the full patch notes. Or don't, I'm not your mum.
Oh, right, awesome. So we saw lots of really good things there. It looks like chariots have been optimized. It looks like here we're going to be having all the passive stuff coming through as well. How are we doing, Rebane? The big moo indeed. Oh, are you going to do a 400 sub special? Yeah, I might do a 400 sub special, maybe indeed. So it looks like there's going to be lots of stuff coming in. It's like chariots have been optimized. If we go back through here, there was a little part about here. Can we get through here? So it looks like here we are going to have the passive stuff. That's going to be really nice for casting. I can certainly see what's going to be going on, what's going to be going through here whilst casting. You can certainly see lots of stuff coming through for those passives. And it looks like here some of the unit cards are looking really nice. I like these little symbols here, so it can be very handy for when it comes down to banner rolls, etc. It'll be a little bit more easy to identify there. Some of these unit cards as well look so awesome. And this thing, oh, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Gyrocopters, fire whilst moving, probably just going to be I imagine it's just going to be a campaign thing. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think that's going to be a multiplayer thing. But excited nonetheless, I'm very excited. So, We'll more than likely come back to this, so we'll hop through here. So we're going to have lots of things coming forward for the DLC. This is not my image, but I'm using it just to aid me here a little bit. So if this is somebody's stuff and they don't want to use it, please get in contact with me. But obviously you're going to have, these are the main two things coming through for the Fury and for the Silence and the Fury. So obviously you're going to have Oxotl, who's going to come through, who's going to be the new Legendary Lord. Excited for him. I've heard really, really good things about him. Some people have said that he's actually going to be one of the better things coming out of this for the Lizard Men. SK also getting some nerfs, I believe. I believe there's nerfs coming all over the place here. Working on Kislev Bear. Yes, Rabane, get on those Kislev. I'm so excited for Kislev. But yeah, so it looks like, yeah, we are going to be getting Stalker Chameleons, seeing some of those guys in action. I believe they have some really, really good ideas behind them. Whether they're going to work to how they're intended, like, you know, they're sort of a bit like blasting charge units, could be interesting. Also, give us lowdown on the down lows. Maybe. I don't really know what you're asking for there, Krell, but I could try. But it looks like comedian leaders and stuff, so we've seen all of these lords and heroes. Yeah, they're going to be like getting the Coatl is looking really nice. Obviously, you're going to get Taurox as well coming through with the Doom Balls and all these nice Tuskal chariots that are looking very, very strong at the moment. And these are lots of things here that we're going to have to take into consideration when we go through here and we do a little bit of the work on our tier list. Tuskal chariots are looking very strong. You've got lots of armoured Minotaurs, and obviously you've got all of the Gorgons and all of the other special units coming forward here as well. Alright, so this time we're going to be hopping into the Total War Warhammer 2, the updates. There's going to be lots of changes here. Shout outs as well here. This is going to be on the screen for you guys, for some of the people that have put lots of work into making this here. So, you know, shout out to those guys. They put some amazing time and effort into this. So a lot of this is going to be campaign stuff as well. So it looks like the Dwarf rework. So with the Rala of Thoric Ironbrow, yeah, so obviously we've seen there's going to be an overhaul in the mechanics when it comes to runes and all sorts of things. Also changes around here in regards to Master Engineers and all sorts of elements coming forward. So let's have a little look. So this is going to be a lot of campaign stuff with Wandering Slayers, Legendary Grudges as well, new post-battle options. Yeah, that's not too interesting right now. That is going to be just for the campaign stuff. So Gromriddle now begins with that's for campaign. Let's see if we've got any stuff here. Okay, that looks like it's just going to be, there's going to be campaign changes. This is for the dwarfs. Let's maybe try and see if we can move through and just find. Oh, so here's some of the new unit cards. Now these look really cool. Okay, so for the Wood Elves, it's like we're gonna have. Ooh, I like that there for the ethereal. I can't remember what they're called. What are they called? Yeah, maybe. Rabane, not too sure. Eagle's looking awesome. You got some great Stag Knights here, and the ROR Stag Knights looking really cool, and you've got the Wolves as well that look really nice. That's obviously going to be campaign, right? You're not going to get that there in the multiplayer. This looks really good for greenskins as well. I'm sure we can go through all of these at some point. This thing is going to be insane. But yeah, there's lots of cool changes here, I think. Also, new ones for the Skaven as well, which is quite nice. So let's find here. Let's have a look. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be, if they have negative debuff effects red or positive green buff effects, they're going to be green. Yes, that's going to be on that active ability trait there at the bottom. Where is... Okay, abilities and spells. Okay, chariots. The soft collision volume Tuskal chariots have been optimized. Here's a quick explanation. In Total Warhammer 2, chariots have collision volumes that can cover each of 3 elements that units consist of: the draught animals, the articulation point, the point at which the chariots bend, and the chariot itself. So it looks like they're going to be optimizing all of the hitboxes here for the chariots, and it looks like all of the hitboxes here can. Yes, Lost Silver and Knights, thank you very much. Yes, Lost Silver and Knights. That one looks awesome, I must admit. This one got hit really hard in the patch notes, so DLC units. Maybe Narandon, maybe. We'll go through it. We'll go through it in general. But it looks like here they're going to optimize the chariots by using all of the hitboxes here. They're not going to use the chariot itself. They're going to use the elements at the front with the animals. And then also they're going to be using the articulation points, the point that they actually have on impact, right? So all three of those are going to have an impact on... So potentially you have a couple of points of impact and therefore a couple of points of attack as well that could really benefit chariots here. And obviously we've seen a lot of points here, especially with Tuscarora chariots. We've seen that they're doing very well at the moment. So the Orc Boy chariots as well. Some of these guys are way and above overperforming than they normally do. So that could be very interesting to see how they get optimized. That's really going to hurt the Dawi, and that's really going to hurt a lot of defensive factions. Let's have a look. See if there's anything special here. While we discover collision volume. No, it doesn't look like it's too much. So icons have been changed. So spells, abilities, and movement speed. So all spells and abilities and movement speed have had their values adjust. The previous standard for vast majorities were 24, 48, and 70%. Have been changed to 25, 45, and 60%. So it seems like here there's going to be a lot of negatives when it comes to poison, a lot of negatives when it comes to movement speed and abilities as well. So it looks like here the smaller ones have changed a bit larger, but the others have been reduced, which I think is quite nice because, you know, nothing something by 72% speed is just pretty much a straight dead. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it against some things, you know, like, especially Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Just Rune of Wrath and Ruin, something that's, let's say, less than 80 speed, you just put it down to, like, slow in the foot pace, and you just completely whack it. So I kind of like the spells and abilities and changes here coming through into the new DLC. It should be very interesting to see how that will go forward. This change will make it easier to calculate speed changes on the fly during battle. So I think it sounds like it's going to be able to give you those. So basically, if you're putting it over a unit, it should be able to tell you how slow it's going to make it as well, which can be quite good. So you can you can calculate it during the battle if you be able to catch that unit for that duration of time. A more dramatic reduction of 72 to 60%. Balancing tweaks, yes, it's just going to be balancing tweaks. Spells and abilities and resistances. Looks like we've gone from 20 to 44 and 66, from 20 to 40 and 60. Seems fine to me. I'm sure they did some sort of testing here with some of the new units. We'll go through some of those balances as well. So now we're going to get onto unit balancing. So some of this stuff looks really, really good. It looks really, really balanced. Yeah, don't mind that. You know, things like Lucky Banner was really powerful. Like the cast iron ring as well will probably be 60% now, I'm sure. So it should be interesting to see. Mither, I don't think will have the speed debuff nerfed. Yeah, I think it is 60%, I think. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think it is 60%. Because Mither's basically a reskin of Rune of Wrath and Ruin, right? Community's got both massive poison nerf, and everyone thinks the price... Yeah, the price has increased, yeah. How you doing, for Poland? How you doing well, buddy? So if we do pop down here, we're going to go into Cataract with his Radical Chariot. So he's gone up by 100 because obviously he's going to be getting all of those buffs as well. So melee defense has gone from 26 to 34. Now that's goddamn huge. When he's on a chariot moving at the speed he does, when you also consider his armor as well, that gives you in melee combat, it actually gives you that 20% damage resistance. I think it's called the Dark Mail. When you take that into account with the increase by a measly 8... increase, that's nearly a 1/3 increase for 100 gold cost. That's already worth it there in general. Now melee attack has gone down, charge has also gone down, armor piercing has gone up, and anti-infantry has gone up. So the multiplier of anti-infantry has gone up, which means it's going to be a higher multiplier there. Armor piercing going up is good, means he's going to be able to hit some of those bigger monsters a little bit harder as well. And also the changes hit chariots as well. So that's why I'm sure the melee attack also has gone from 34 to 40. Oh, beg your pardon, I thought it went the other way. So it looks like it's gone up, but charge has gone down. Okay, the charge was exceptionally high for him, I must admit. How you doing, Nekabit? How you doing? As well as Zypher, how's everybody doing? Yeah, so it looks like there's going to be some good changes to Cataract. The Beast Lord as well, looks like he's going to be getting similar changes. Increase in melee defense, that's a huge increase to melee defense. That's plus 12 melee defense. He's only getting a plus 50 gold. So there's massive buffs here for chariots indeed. That's really nice. Charge went down. Anti-infantry went down though for the Beast Lord, but his melee attack and melee defense has gone up. So, you know, he's going to do pretty well against larger targets as well. Malagor has gone from 600 to 1,000. Mass has increased as well, which is really nice. He can now fly. I don't think it's going to tell us his speed, but he's certainly gotten faster. He's gotten a lot faster. Yeah, I think I really like that change, Deadly Bunnies. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I really like the Radical Chariot changes. That's really nice here in the... yeah, in the new DLC, I really like that. Now, Malagor going up completely fine. He's got different winds of magic, so he's going to have Enfeebling Foe, Flock of Doom, Pendulum. brilliant spells there. Doom and Darkness, Mantle of Gork, and Savage Dominion. So that's really nice. You're going to be able to have Managor that can summon Cygors. He can also come in with big attack spells, say up against the Dawi with Pendulum, as well as Enfeebling Foe. Really good negatives with those as well. Doom and Darkness is good against anybody in general. At 4.0, are you going to be doing unit testing tomorrow? I think I might do some unit testing on stream as well for myself, maybe, if that's what you guys would like to see as well. But Morgur's mass has gone up, which is quite nice. He was very easy to pin in quite a lot of occasions. But the Bray Shamans here have gone up in cost by 150 at base. The armor's gone up to 100. That's really nice. Melee attack is like nearly doubled. That's insane. I don't know if this will stay the same. This is a huge increases for such little increase in cost. But 24 to 34 melee attack, 17 to 80 charge. 200 to 210 armor piercing change. Anti-infantry's also gone up. So that's everything that's gone up, including charge here for the Brave Shaman. Now, they're also encouraged to be in melee combat, thanks to a lot of their items, so it should be really interesting there. But yeah, I think you're very happy here, Rebane. Yeah, I think Beastmen have had a humongous change. Beastmen have really needed this. Really needed this indeed. So the God Ball leadership has gone up. Charge has gone down. Melee attack has gone down. But mass has gone up, so that's really nice. The mass has gone up, which is very, very good. It's going to allow them to really punch through and get onto those big targets that they want to. Race Core Chariots, again, have gone up. Melee attack's gone up. Melee defense has gone up. Leadership's gone up. Charge has gone up. But cost has gone up. But I think you're not going to worry about that. I think the only issue you can see here for the Beastmen is they're starting to become a little bit more of an elite faction. They've gone from a very green skinny, low-tier cheap faction to a very expensive one here, which is interesting. You know, the extra 150 doesn't seem like much, but you want to take 3 chariots, which you would normally do. You know, you're going to see an extra 450 cost there. You know, that's dropping an infantry unit in the front line, so that's something to take into consideration. Minotaurs here, increased leadership, decreased charge, but decreased melee attack as well. Okay, I don't know how I feel about that. I like the increase to leadership. Big monstrous infantry, you'd expect to have leadership as well. Going down in the stats, though, I've never really seen Minotaurs as OP units to have like real big changes. I don't know if the increase to leadership and the decrease in melee attack and charge was worth it, but yeah, okay. Don't know how I feel about those ones. Great weapons also been decreased quite significantly. Leadership has gone up. Butchers of Kalkengard, same approach. Maybe somebody else can fill in some more information there. I'm not a humongous... Maybe Rebane can tell me a little bit about that, but I'm not a huge Beastman player. But I don't know if these seems necessary. Maybe a buff to leadership, just +5 leadership would have been nice, maybe. But I don't know about the attack changes. Maybe some of the animations for them has changed. Perhaps there. Manticores can now be recruited like other units, so no longer summons. That's really nice. You get Manticores here for the Beastmen. I don't know why they didn't have Manticores before, but it's nice to see that they've got them. I have more Belize has gone down in cost. Hit points have also been decreased. Ultra-sized units, okay. Warhounds, poisons have got cheaper. That's scary. That is scary. I think stat nerfs is to make up for the buffs to Blood Greed. Oh, I didn't know Blood Greed had been changed. Interesting. I only knew about Frenzy being changed. Yeah, okay. Destroyers of Drakwold have been made cheaper as well. They're the poison anti-large, so these changes are looking really nice. Chaos Warhound's getting cheaper. I like that. How we doing, William? Crotus, how's it going, buddy? I think it has to do with some changes that they made to abilities of Blood Greed. Yeah, that does make sense. Also Frenzy as well. I'm sure if there's going to be changes to Frenzy, I'm sure there'll be changes to Primal Fury. I think Primal Fury will change. I don't know if you've seen any changes to Primal Fury, guys. They are specific to Minotaurs. Oh, okay, yeah, because I think Minotaurs are the ones that will have that, yeah. So Bretonia, it looks like here, Defenders of Fleur de Lis have gone up in cost. I don't disagree with that. I thought they were very strong. Battle Pilgrims have gone down by 2 melee attack. Arm piercing damage has gone down as well. That's really interesting. Don't particularly think they were a unit that were particularly highly used, but they've gone down. The Wardens of Las Maison Tal have gone down by 3 melee attack. Don't really know if that's necessary. I think that's specifically only going to be due to Frenzy, I think. All Poison Hounds are 25 gold cheaper. I kind of like that. Grail League has lost 2 melee attack. I think these are all because of Frenzy. Because Frenzy's changed and actually Frenzy's got a buff, I think they've made changes in general. But it looks like the Field Blessed Trebuchet's got an extra melee defense. Fantastic. Sure. So, Crown Hellebron has lost some melee attack. I'm sure all of them have lost melee attack here. Yep. So is the Hellsteed because of Frenzy, Death Hag as well. Bonus for infantry has massively gone down. I'm sure that increased in melee attack as well has gone massively far down. Cheaper here for the Death Hag with the Cauldron of Blood. Less melee attack, more melee defense, which is quite nice. Cheaper as well, and also changed to Frenzy. The Hellebroni have gone down cheaper. I really like the Hellebroni. I actually really like them as units, which is quite nice to see that they've got a little bit more love here. You actually really might see them for the Dark Elf roster a bit more. And it's gone down as well for the Cauldron of Blood. Okay. Yeah, very nice indeed. I like that. Also, Hellebron getting some changes is going to be super nice. Witch Elves, looks like they've gone down. Sisters of Singing Doom as well. Same approach. Projectile calibration distance 45 to 65, more accurate for the Blood Rat Medusa. So I believe they have two different lines of sight of fire. So I believe they used to fire very, very straight before in a shot, but if they don't have a direct line of sight, they can now actually do a bit of a curve over, a little bit like arrow shots, as far as I've seen. So that's a really nice boost there for the Blood Rat Medusa. Tweaks in projectile positions, yeah, for example there. Bonuses infantry from 0 to 10, so it looks like they've got some bonuses infantry. I really like that as well with the terror. That's going to really help them when they are getting surrounded by all this anti-large. They can really fight back as well. Hellebrono buff is big. It really is big. Because they're also coming in that poison also got nerfed, so that's probably why they've got cheaper as well. Because that is their main stat line, right? Is the fact that they've got poison. So yeah, a lot of these changes are going to be because of Frenzy, it's true. Doomfire Warlocks have got increased melee defense. Yeah, they're very glass cannon. Even though they've got 40% physical resistance, they are very glass cannon. Slanesh Harvesters as well. I like that. War Hydras have gone down in cost. Melee defense from 26 to 32. Hopefully they've balanced it. They have a lot of issues with leadership and also getting routed off quite easy due to their double regen ability. The Chiller Sontar has got cheaper, extra melee defense. You could maybe justify these a little bit more. Increased melee defense and cheaper, making the War Hydras, perhaps a little bit more viable, maybe. The Carabiddis got decrease and an increase in melee defense. I like that. Considering a lot of things have got more accurate as well, and the Chariots have certainly gotten stronger, big monsters are certainly going to suffer. Sisters of Slaughter, yep, standard changes from Frenzy. Revengers of Rakath, got cheaper. I like that. I actually really like them. I like them anyway. I think Scorchron and Chariots are probably some of the best units for Dark Elves in my opinion. And here we go. So we're going to be going on to our first main faction. Oh, damn those sisters. Kane builds. Let's go. So I think here we're going to be going on to the Dwarfs. This is going to be our first. This is going to be doing the FLC. So Thorgun Grudgeberg now hiding in the forest. Sure. But his mass is, this is a huge one. So this is a huge bonus. This here is ginormous. He's going to nearly triple in mass, and that's really going to help him. This is going to kill Grombrindle. Are you ever going to see Grombrindle? Nah. I think this is going to kill Grombrindle. Removing Flash Bomb has killed it, I think, for him. Very difficult to consider picking him whilst losing that. This is massive. Nice mass change here to the Anvil of Doom as well. Really, really nice for the Rune Lord, especially with all the new runes coming as well. It's going to be really hard to pin him in. Thorin got really fat. Yeah, he went on a big, he went on a seafood diet. Alright, Runesmith. So swaps the Master Rune of Groth One Eye for the Iron Warden Shield. Can I remember what the Iron Warden Shield does? In custom battles. Swapped. Oh, yeah, so of course, Runesmiths have lost the Hammer of the Karak Drath, or Draz, I think it's actually pronounced, and they've got Ironbeard's Ring now. This was really good. This was really good, but it only regened in melee combat, but it was exceptionally good, but I never really brought it. But it was very nice to have in case you... it's okay. Like, losing it's not the end of the world. Ironbeard's Rings cost 80 gold, and it probably has more use. But I like it nonetheless. Right? You're gonna have your Runesmith sit in the back with your ranges anyway, having that extra... Or, actually, maybe there's more reason to get him in the front there with the Ironbeard's Ring, cause that weakness to fire damage, maybe. So, Runesmith, all the ghosts have gone up. They've gone up by 100. Due to some of the changes that are coming forward. How are we doing? HDM? How you doing, buddy? Dwarf buffs. There is going to be some, yeah. So Master Engineer changes, and this is the one that everybody's interested in. So removes the passability extra powder in custom battles, but Flash Bomb and Restock have come in. So extra powder was a bit pointless, and we sort of really buffed blasting charges. But it is going to be coming in with Restock. Now, Restock is going to have lots of abilities. How much I could talk about this, I don't know. But there's going to be some really nice stuff. Like, we all know that they can aid towards blasting charges. They can aid towards gyrocopters with the brimstone guns and all their firing units there. They can't add towards their bomb drops, though, as far as I'm aware, so far. So this is looking really good for the Master Engineer. Master Engineer could become quite meta here, for sure. At least one. You're going to be seeing one in a lot of matchups. You'd have to be very silly to not see anything there. Surprised the Master Engineer didn't go up, the Ghost version. Everything else did, but Master Engineer one. Not too sure why. But there we go. Norgler Mindbreakers, big changes for them. 50 gold cost increase with +5 melee attacks. So that's going to be 10 gold per melee attack. Now, I will take that any day of the week. You're going to be seeing lots of more Ironbreakers coming into the fixtures. PK Guard as well. Increased melee defense +4. You know, that +10% melee defense is really going to help hammers. They are a little bit glass cannon as well. They're very susceptible to getting punched in the face pretty hard. Probably Lizards are going to be the new Apex race for the multiplayer. We'll get through that in a minute. So it buffs the worst Dower units to play against. Yep, that's pretty nice. There's also, you're going to be having an increase to splash damage. So I believe it's 2 for PK Guard anyway. So splash damage is going to be really nice for the increase to hammers with their increased cost and melee defense. Melee defense is going to go up by 10%. Really nice, like that in general. Ironbreakers in cost increase as well with that plus 12.5% melee attacks. That's really good. You're going to have that for the Ironbreakers as well. I think these are good changes. This is going to change certain matchups. I think this can certainly change the VC matchup for the Darwi. Urkra Miners, you'll probably see those a little bit less now. They've lost Frenzy. Frenzy was huge, especially with all the updates coming in. But there's been no stat changes. They've just lost Frenzy. They've not got any cheaper. Nothing. They're just still going to be 1600. They're still going to be 600. So you'll be seeing a lot less Urkra Miners, I think. CA saw the Gunnery White meta and was like, yeah, give that to the Dwarfs. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. It gives some of those units a little bit more use. I mean, the only time you'd ever bring them is for the Firing Atori. Really. Now they're going to have Firing Atori and extra buffs as well. I'm not sad about it. And like, I'm going to come at all of this from a neutral perspective. I think it's really nice for the Dwarfs. We'll go through it in really more detail. I want to go through to the next one here. We'll talk about all the stuff that is coming in. So improves response times when ordering stop and fire. Now that's really nice. Because there's a couple of seconds delay between actually like clicking on, like the micro there for gyro bombers and gyrocopters will become better, which is really nice. So Empire changes. It's just going to be used to Frenzy, melee attack decrease for the Tattersoul Flagellants, and Flagellants also going to decrease as well. So Greenskin changes. Wurzag's gone due to Frenzy change. Wurzag on his Bog has changed as well. Charge speed has gone up, and run speed has gone up. Now, this is interesting because Wurzag on his board was already pretty strong. He had like, so 62 speed and like 84 charge. This is charge speed, so it's very different. This is going to be a bit of a change. That +8 speed doesn't seem like much, but when you have it as a multiplier coming in with this massive charge bonus, that's really going to aid Wurzag and see him in a few more matchups perhaps. So yeah, that's pretty nice. The Flagellants probably come out the change for Frenzy. It's just, it's not quite, I think most changes have been about 10%, I think, if we go up to here. No, I've maybe actually got hit harder, actually. I think they've lost 3 in general. Where are we? They lost 3 here, so maybe the Tattersoul's got hit a bit harder, but I think the Tattersoul got hit a bit harder because they've got 120 models, right? So, yeah. Yeah, Flagellant boys are unbreakable, yeah. To be honest, Urkra Miners had no business being this good. Yeah, no, I agree, Narandon. I actually don't understand why they had Frenzy in the first place. But it certainly made me pick them a lot more than I should have done. for sure. Maybe a decrease by 50 gold would have been nice. For losing Frenzy. That would have been a nice balance, or maybe changing some of the stats a little bit, maybe increasing a little bit of an attack and some leadership, perhaps. You know, maybe like 2 or 3 plus melee attack, 2 or 3 plus leadership, just to balance that out there. Because now they're going to lose that immune to psychology, right? But yes, let's go through here. So Black Orc Big Boss charge speed has increased on his boar, and so is his run speed. So that's going to be a standard here for the boars. I really like that because boars were not used enough, in my opinion. And it'd be nice to see them here a little bit more. That's really going to help them on that charge impact, because they already do a lot of damage, especially for Wurtek, who has some pretty strong melee attack. He has lost it, of course, a little bit, but still going to be pretty nice. Right, so here we go. Snotling Pump Wagons charged from 80 to 75. Don't really see where that change came in. 40 to 50 though for Snotling Pump Wagon Rollers. I don't see Snotling Pump Wagons ever. Unless somebody's memeing, never see them. So surprised to see, you know, these changes. Obviously what they've done here is they have done a bit of testing on them, gone, they're like really powerful in these particular moments, and they've just like kind of changed them. So the average Orc Boy Biggins, leadership has gone up by 2. Melee attack has gone down with frenzy, of course. Run speed has gone up. Charge speed has gone up. So Savage Orc Boy Biggins actually probably getting a bit of a buff here, which is interesting. I thought Savage Orc Boy Biggins were already pretty good, but this buff will be interesting. Savage Orc Boys, they got some buffs as well, decrease, but everything else has changed. Leadership increase is a bit strange here as well, but that should be interesting. I kind of like Savage Orc Boy Biggins. They're pretty decent. They're not like the optimal pick, but they're still like decent. Leadership increase, melee attack decrease here for the Arrow Boys. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Actually, that's probably a buff. Actually, leadership increase is actually probably a bit of a buff, in my opinion. So average Orc Boy Biggins, that's a good nerf for the Orc Biggins. Negative, that's going to be due to frenzy. Same here from the Orc Boys, just the normal Orc changes. So broken tusk mobs. So these are going to be pretty powerful, I think. Orc Boy Chariots have had massive changes as well. Orc Boy Chariots are looking really strong in the current meta. Well, orcs are like, send them in and wait for them to win. Don't worry about the pump wagons. Yeah, I don't think anybody is. Gom's ability's got nerfed. Yes, we'll get to there. Boys finally got able to catch chameleons. Yeah, I like the fact that the run speed's gone up. So Orc Boy Chariots, costs have gone down by 200. Charge has been increased though. Speed has increased, and run speed has increased, and mass has decreased. But they're looking pretty nice at the moment. 750 for them is really good. Golden Warfighter Archers increased. All of the Skirmish Cavalry increased, right? So it's going to be 25 for everything, including the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Now, I'm really happy they didn't leave these out, because Forest Goblin Spider Riders are a strong unit. Yep, I agree with all of these changes. I think 25 is a nice start. If you guys don't think that 25 is a good start, just have a look at Skaven and just increasing a few units by 25 gold, including their very cheap front line. That increase by 25 gold has changed the meta for them, and in my opinion, a great boundary. So changes for the High Elves, a big one here. Fantastic to see that these High Elves are getting nerfed even more. I'm sure Zypher will agree with me here to see that the Miststalker Faith Bearers, which are obviously campaign exclusives, having them getting nerfed is brilliant. Seeing this here, they were already too powerful, and just seeing them getting all these massive changes, excellent. Alright, so we're going to go on to the first DLC. We're going to go here, the second DLC, which would be the Lizard Men. So Nakai has become stonk. So Nakai's been in the gym for the last couple of months, and he's gone from a massive 2,700 to 4,000. He's also decreased in cost by 100, and these changes are probably not going to make him competitive, but they can certainly make him more competitive when picked. That mass change is huge. That's really going to allow him to use his charge animations and really allow him to really carve through inventory. He's got some pretty okay stats. He's got some nice abilities for sure. Is it going to help? No, it's not going to help him get selected, that's for sure. Like, he's not going to get selected, say, over to Henowin on a horned one, or he's not going to get selected over Mazda Mundi, etc. Did I miss Fanatics? I must have missed Fanatics. No, it doesn't talk about Fanatics. Okay, well, we all know about Fanatics. So Fanatics, when they engage in melee combat, they have 15 seconds, 400 years of training for the high elves still to get negative 2 melee attack in the campaign exclusive. How bullied are they to get gain 2 race? I mean, they've also got every single winter magic, so, you know, they can't be that bad. They do need some changes, though. We'll go through that in a minute. But the Fanatics obviously change when they engage in melee combat. It's 15 seconds charge before they can use their first Fanatics. And also there's going to be some more changes here as well for them, that they can only recharge Fanatics through melee combat. Now, they're not very strong anyway, so it's actually going to be a humongous nerf to them. So it's going to be nice to see that. And you're rarely going to see them, to be honest. You are rarely going to see them. He stole Throg's supplements, indeed. So mass change is going to be really nice from Nakai. That negative 100 and increase the mass, I don't think it's going to make him pickable, but it's certainly going to be, you know, even when people are memeing, he's not as much as a meme as he once was. He has increased significantly, but not enough to a selection. To him going down is going to be normal changes due to Frenzy. So Gorok on Grimlock has gone down due to the normal changes, but he's also got a decrease in armor piercing, and base weapon damage went down. This is going to be due to changes in not Krogar, but changes in Grimlock. So I can't remember the... So Carnosaurs are getting changed. Carnosaurs are getting nerfed. Don't really know why, but Carnosaurs are getting nerfed. That's why this is all changed on Grimlock specifically. So actually that won't be Frenzy, because I don't... Actually, he doesn't have Frenzies, no. So that's not due to Frenzy at all either. That is just Grimlock getting nerfed. So Tic-Tac-Toe's got cheaper. That can actually surprisingly make Tic-Tac-Toe a lot more selectable. Having a Lord that costs 800 that pretty much won't die is actually pretty nice. Pretty cheap as well, because he flies. He's got good charge as well, so that's pretty interesting. So Zlak cost more. Not sad about that. I think it was pretty powerful. I think that was a good change. Ancient Croxagore mass went up. I'm okay with that. I think that was a necessary thing. Just gives them more punch through. How that would change them in general in the meta. It can certainly change them against the dwarfs. Just normal Croxagore units can certainly change. Don't know if the normal Croxagores are going to get changed as well. Saurus Old Bloods with the Carnosaurs obviously getting nerfs in armor piercing and base weapon damage and melee attack. Raycasted Skink Chief got a nerf. I think it must be just Frenzy. Yeah, must be just Frenzy. Saurus Scar Veteran is getting the same again. Skink Chief went up by 500. By 50, sorry. Definitely good. Remember that Carno have Frenzy too. Do they? Oh, okay. Maybe that's where it came through then. Maybe the Carnosaur is just because of Frenzy then. Okay. Okay, dokes. Skink Chief, yeah, that's a good increase. I think they were very strong for 350 for sure. Reprodactyl Riders, Frenzy. That will be a change in Frenzy. I'm pretty sure they've got Frenzy. I'm 99% sure they've got Frenzy, I'm pretty sure. So negative melee attack, negative to armor piercing, but increase the bonus first large for the Colossal Hunters. I did not know the Colossal Hunters were bonus first large. I thought they were bonus first infantry. But bonus first infantry has gone up, cost has gone down, Yeah, I like that. I like that in general. I believe, yeah, here we go. 4 Sentinels have been increased. So I think you're probably going to see a lot less use from those. You're just going to go like 3 normal Pterodon Riders now. How you doing, dog? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're having a good day. Red Crested Skinks have gone down in melee attack. This will all be Frenzy. Yeah, Frenzy. But they've also, due to the changes in Poison, they've also gone down in cost as well. So they've got a little bit of a buff here from Frenzy, but they've also got a little bit of a negative due to all the stats. But they're also going to get another buff again due to that cost. And they're pretty stable here up against dwarfs. Cohort Sotek has been changed as well. Lots of changes there to cost as well. So it's gone a little bit down. Yeah, that's looking pretty standard across the board. So I like these changes. Yeah. Feral Stegodon. Charge bonus went down. Okay. He's pretty cheap, so maybe that was just a balancing mechanic there. Ancient Salamanders have changed, and this is a big one that have changed here as well. So that charge bonus has gone down, but the melee attack has gone up, melee defense has gone down, leadership went up, ammunition went up, but cost is now 1,050. So I actually think this is a buff, and I think it's a huge buff for Ancient Salamanders. I think they were way too expensive for what they did, and put them down at that for the actual changes that pretty much balance themselves out. They've got more ammunition. They're going to be a little bit more... obviously, having more ammunition, more leadership is going to allow them to fire a little bit longer. I think they were too easy to break. They were very glass cannon, but having them cheaper means that you will certainly see more of them. And the same here for the Salamander hunting packs. Just going down in cost is pretty nice. Umbral Tide as well, down by 100. That's a significant change. These three changes here will allow you to see these units a little bit more in the meta, I think. I think they're pretty nice anyway. You'll see them in certain matchups, such as against Wood Elves, and having them here with these changes can be very, very nice. Rated on hunting packs have gone down, and so have the Maximum Barbs. The Maximum Barbs have got a massive buff. Going down by 125 is actually huge. That's a huge amount of decrease there as a percentage, so that's very nice to see that. Percentage on the solar engines went up, which I like. I think they were pretty strong here in the meta anyway. How we doing, Davida? How we doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Skin Chief already had the Poison Nerf though, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, Poison Nerf was good to have with him, but him also going up as well. Wonder why the Skin Chief has 82 ammunition. Because it's just a blow dart, right? It's just a blow dart. It's pretty, like, little darts. They're tiny, so you can carry loads of them. Yeah, Mither got changed as well. Got changed from 72 down to 60%, I believe. Stegodon went cheaper. Thunderous one went up, which actually I don't disagree with. I actually think the Thunderous one, the Ancient Stegodon, was pretty strong. Judgment of UMAC is really strong. Chameleon Skinks went up. I don't disagree with that. The only thing is that they also got that's a pretty huge nerf. It doesn't seem like it, but change in poison and increased the cost as well. It's a hard hit. It's a hard hit to take, but they've certainly taken it like a champ. And this is where I'm a little bit sad. Norska. So high elves like Norska have had... High elves had no changes, which is a bit sad. Norska have had some nerfs. So mass went down for Throg. That's an actual nerf. It's a bit of a shame. I don't think Throg was competitive at all anyway, so those changes don't make sense to me. Skinwolf Firkin, that's just going to be due to Frenzy, right? Up increased the cost of Beast of Tashnar. Now that's across the board. That's Beast of Tashnar for... I actually don't mind that increase. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. I'm indifferent. I think they were strong. Beast of Tashnar are very strong from any of the three factions that can take them. And I think they should always be taken anyway. Is that maybe I feel like this is a change of what you saw before with you saw this before from the Dwarfs, right? You saw it from Grombrindle, because you see Beast of Tashnar in almost every single build. I think they've just increased the cost. I can't think of any logistic reason as to why they've done it. Yeah, I don't think the nerf is really... Maybe I'm a little bit annoyed about it. Maybe I'm a little bit annoyed about it. I don't think it's justified. I don't think it's justified. So you've got two nerfs here already. Maws of Savagery, they've gone up in cost, but they've also increased armor piercing and reduced base weapon damage. Okay, I'm not sure why. Never saw Maws of Savagery anyway. Skin Walls, melee attack has gone down. This will just be frenzy changes. Armored Skin Walls, frenzy changes. Marauder Berserkers, frenzy changes. And Brutes of the Hounds, frenzy changes. In general, small, minute nerfs to Norska. But overall, yeah. So Throg's lost a bit of weight, which is a shame. I always like seeing fat Throg. But I'm not really sure why it's come in, to be quite honest. Two significant nerfs here for Beast of Tashnar and Throg. I think this one doesn't really matter. But this one here does. This one here really does matter. And maybe you don't really see the Maws of Savagery, but this seems unnecessary to me. But so two unnecessary changes and Beast of Tashnar. So interesting there. Not really too many changes overall. Maybe a little bit of a buff here for the infantry, for the Marauder Berserkers, and also the Skin Walls here from Frenzy. I think it's generally a little bit of a buff in general. If you just want to go with two Bastiladons, 4 Skinks, Mazda, that's 500 gold increase. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Right, so we're going to move on to Skaven. So we're going to have the Skaven Chieftain on top of the Bonebreaker specifically. It's just going to be Frenzy changes. Gorich, Frenzy changes. Packmaster, Frenzy changes. Throt will be Frenzy changes. Skaven Warlord has gone from 50 attack. Oh, on the Brood Horror. Okay, so that's just going to be a nerf in general. Or does he get Frenzy on that? He must have Frenzy on that. He must have. Skrulk has gone down in melee attack. I don't know why. He is the most competitive Legendary Lord, but he's not the most competitive Lord pick. So why that's happened, I don't know. Plague Priests have gone down with Frenzy. Skaven Wall on the Frenzy. Yeah. So just mainly Frenzy changes, I think. Just Frenzy changes. Frenzy... looks like here armor piercing damage has gone down for the mutant rat ogres. The Helion has gone down in melee attacks, so it's just Frenzy. Frenzy again. Frenzy again. Hellbit Abomination has gone down in cost. I kind of like that. The thing. Yeah, I think it's nice. It can help that with combatant against other things like VC. For sure. Plague Monster and Siberia changes to Frenzy. Gutter Runners have gone down by 25 due to the nerf in Poison, and Slingers as well due to the nerf in Poison. Tomb Kings, Cetron's Chariot can no longer hide in the forest. Interesting. Don't know why that was necessary, but it looks like it is. The Kingston Sketch Scorpion Legion have actually gone down by 50 cost. Most of their gimmick is like increased armor and poison. So the fact that poison has been nerfed, I really like the fact that they've actually given a buff and made them cheaper. That's actually probably a buff, actually. In reality. Yeah. The fact that they're cheap is quite nice. Maybe it's an even one. Maybe it's even. Necropolis Knights have got negative to poison. Poison, Smoth, and Halberds. 25 doesn't seem significant enough to me, but that's got to be at least a 50 change. I don't know why it's just 25. Vampire Fleet Captains here. A number of projectiles from 0 to 1. Okay. The Skull Tide have gone up in cost. They don't have Frenzy, right? Let's have a look. We'll see what you guys are saying. The buffs and nerfs seem to be arbitrary in a lot of cases. Yeah, they are. Oh, Skullcut's Frenzy, does he? No way. I did not know Skullcut Frenzy. I mean, a lot of the line is about Frenzy. Yeah, a lot of this is Frenzy changes, which is what's going to come in here as well. This is pretty much all Frenzy changes. I don't know if the Tide have Frenzy. Maybe. So the Red Duke, all Frenzy changes here. Everything is Frenzy except Poison changes. So there's going to be Poison changes here for the Kongenstein Stalkers. Corpse Carts, mass has been increased. Yeah, I'm not sad about that. Crypt Horrors, armor from 15 to 30. I like that a lot. And melee defense has gone up. That's really going to buff. That's really going to help with Crypt Horror pick. Crypt Horrors weren't terrible before. They're very good at pinning stuff in. But now they're not just going to be used to pin stuff in. So that's going to be quite nice to see from them. Yep, that seems to be the only changes for VC. Warriors of Chaos is just going to be Frenzy changes. And Lord of Change. Okay. That's not interesting to us. Frenzy, and yeah, the poison changes from Warhounds, which is really nice. I like the fact that although they've changed poison, they've made an effect on the units that kind of cancels it out. They do they? Oh, okay. Okay. So Sisters of Twilight, melee defense from 40 to 42, only on their Forest Dragon. Yeah, dragons are getting a buff in general. This is what's really annoyed me. It looks like it's only going to be Forest Dragons that are getting buffs, so there's going to be no buffs here for High Elves for their dragons. All getting plus 22, all getting plus 2 melee defense for all dragons, with Lords on the top. Durfree's melee attack has gone down with Frenzy, Orion Frenzy. Drycha's cost has gone from 850 to 1,000, but her melee attack is decreased as well. Yep, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I would say this is justifiable if you put Rouse to Wrath up to 2 summons again. That would justify that for me, but otherwise this 150 cost. Do I agree with that? Oh, it's ever chosen, is it? Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. He was hard to pin in anyway. Rust and the Frozen Heart have gone up in cost. Surprise Dry just gone up in cost. That makes sense. That doesn't make sense. I think these are already a risky unit to take anyway. I've never seen War Dancers Azrai Spears be worth that increase in cost. Or even that cost to take anyway. That's such a risk in my opinion. But, okay. Low Tricksters looks like they've gone up. That's a nerf for Wood Elves. Nerf here for the Wrath of the Frozen Hearts. Great Stag Knight's melee attack has been decreased. Armor, yeah, that's going to be Frenzy. Frenzy. And another interesting one, a nerf here to Glade Riders. So not only has poison been changed, but also they've got more expensive. So that's another nerf to Poison Skirmish Cavalry. All Poison Skirmish Cavalry has been nerfed with poison and also had an increase in cost, which is really nice. Everything else is going to be Frenzy. Melee Defense for Forest Dragon has gone up by 2 as well. Hawk Riders, this is a nice big one. A change by 50 cost. This was a direct comparison and an improvement here for the Wood Elf and VC matchup, increasing those. And there's a few other ones as well, but that going there is a big change. I like that cost increase. That's right, I see what you guys are saying. Is melee poison nerfed as well? Yeah, all poison in general, Davina. So what it was before, poison was 20% across the board. So that's base weapon. So poison affects 2 things. So it's base weapon damage for melee attacks, and then armor piercing damage for melee attacks. Also base missile damage and base missile and missile armor piercing as well. So that was 20%. That's all now gone down to 15%. So it's gone down by a quarter. And also, it was negative 24% speed that has now gone down to 15% speed. So there's been lots of changes there in poison. A really nice, keen insight nerf there, which I really quite like. So, yeah, all these changes, I'm really happy with these changes. So now we're going to get into the spells. So we're now going to look at spell cost unification. So all spells, laws, passives cost an extra 100. All common spells cost 100. All uncommon spells cost 100. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be the minimum. Okay, this is going to be the minimum cost. So you have common spells, uncommon, and rare. So rare is going to be blue, green, and grey. Yeah, so it's not going to go. There's no purple spells because they'll be uniques, right? They'll be items that are attached. So that's going to be their base costs, I believe. So they're going to be minimum of 100, minimum of 150, minimum of 200. That's really interesting. Okay, that's a big change overall. Miscast Explosion Unification. There was an inconsistency with how much damage Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1 spells. Well, yep, so it's nice that that's been balanced as well. Explosive base damage 288. Explosive AP 300. Okay. This looks cool. Rune magic system. The dwarves have been without a comparable magic system to spells. Due to the force of other races. So as you can see here, when a spell has gone down, or sorry, we'll say here, when a rune has gone down now for the new runes, which we will go through, when the new runes have gone down, it will be 60 seconds before you can use another rune. And this will be different now, because runes can now be overcasted for extended duration, or extended stats, etc., whatever. But if you do overcast it, it becomes 120 seconds before you can cast another rune. So that's another change here to runes. The runic system has been created to bring the dwarves into parity with other races while keeping their playstyle unique. Key changes are the rune magic does not use winter magic. Once the character rune uses runes, all the other runes on the board cannot be used. Yep. The rune that has been used exhibits a longer individual cooldown to prevent repeated recasting of the same rune. Rune magic resource is character bound, not army bound like winter magic. The rune magic has a shorter range than spells in general, emphasizing good runesmith / rune lord positioning. So is this a increase or is this a decrease? Hey Phoenix, how we doing? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Nice to see you here. I'm going to make a compilation of HE patch notes since their last DLC to show off the CA's random late boner. Hate boner. Listen. I'll give you a nice quick overview. As you've just come in, I'll give you a quick overview. So, Miststalkers, the Faith Bearers have gone down in melee attack. There we go. That's a quick preview there for you. I didn't want to ruin it too much, so I'll give you just a taster of what they've done. So yeah, I kind of like what they've done with the runes. They try to make the runes a little bit more in theory of the game. Is this a nerf or a buff? Well, the runes are a lot better, but they try to balance it here by using this mechanic, which is really nice. Never going to use 6 spells on the mage. 3 is the norm. Yeah, 100%, 100%, dude, 100%. You're never going to take 6 runes anyway. You're more than likely, there's only really going to be 3 runes in the game that are going to be utilized. We'll be going through that in a moment. I'll be talking to you guys in a second about the runes, and about some of the ones that are going to be coming in and how they're going to be changing. HE got super buffed. Yeah, I'm really surprised to hear that Forest Dragons got lots of buffs, but the dragons here for High Elves didn't. A little bit weird about that. Oh, sorry, I missed a couple of your things. Why only Wood Elf Dragons? I don't know. But they all got increased melee defense. It might be a hitbox related thing. All dragons are getting buffed except High Elf Dragons. Nope. I don't think Dark Elves got any buffs for their dragons. Pretty sure they didn't. Nope, no buffs for the dragons. It's just going to be Wood Elves. Don't know why, but it's just going to be Wood Elves. Yep, hopefully that answers your poison question, Davina. I think that they should give Drycha a very small buff if they're going to make a price increase so big. Yeah, I agree, Dog. I think putting Rouse the Wrath back to 2 summons would have been better for that 150 cost increase. I don't know quite why that changed. Unless she has Frenzy and they haven't made any changes for Frenzy, for example. Which I don't believe she does. Our long nightmare is over. We can finally nerf Azrai Spears. I don't know why they were nerfed. I don't know why. Oh, wait. High Elves getting nerfed now due to spell costs. Yeah, spell costs have changed. So you get 1 mage with 6 spells and 4 spearmen. You're at 12k. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, I know D Dragon did not get buffed. It's just to point out that LM extra... Oh, okay. Legit, we're the people like left to work on Warhammer 3 and only green skins. I mean, maybe. Man could have seen Dragon Princess getting a plus 100 because poison was nerfed. No, I'm very happy they didn't touch Dragon Princess. I think Dragon Princes are in a good place. I really think they are. So, notable changes between old rune abilities and the new runes. Right, I've actually got a picture here, so I'll bring this up and I'll go through it. So we'll go through the rune changes. So there's going to be 6 runes coming into the game. They talk about it here, right? So we can talk about this in detail. So we'll go here and we'll talk about the rune changes. So you're going to be having 6 runes coming into the game. You're going to be having the Rune of Negation, which is the same as it was before. But instead of the Rune of Negation being a massive area of effects, it's actually just going to be selected on one person. And it's going to be that change from damage resistance, which is 44 down to 40%. So that's going to be a standard change in the game, which was, I think it was 22 to 20. 44 to 40 and 66 down to 40. So those changes are going to be permanent for all damage resistance. However, here it's going to be 1 ally in a 100 meter radius that gets that 40% damage resistance. So it's not going to be in that 40 meter radius anymore. That's a huge nerf to the Rune of Negation. So I don't think you're going to see that rune. You're not really going to see that ever, I don't think. Rune of Wrath and Bruin is now changed from a slow down to an explosion spell. So that will cause major fire damage, large explosion, and you can overcast it for 120 seconds for it to come back, and I don't think you'll see it either. I'm not impressed. Rune of Oath and Steel has sort of stayed the same. You can overcast it, so single cast is 30 plus armor. If you overcast it, it's 60 plus armor in a 40 meter radius. You can only do it up to 100 meters. So it doesn't have, no real changes there, but I don't think you'll see that either. But the 3 runes I think you will be seeing, one of them is going to be called the Rune of Breaking. So that's going to be any ally in a 100 meter radius. That's plus 25% armor piercing, plus 25% base weapon damage, and also armor sundering imbued to the unit. So you're going to reduce 30 armor, increase your armor piercing, and also, yeah, it's going to be very good there. It's going to last 33 seconds, so that's really nice as well. I guess the only saving grace for Rune of Oath and Steel is the fact it's 44 seconds. That's really, really long for plus 60 armor. It can be very good for Slayers and could be very good for frontline units in general. But it can be negated by Thoric's Rune Armor, right? So we'll go through that in a second. But Rune of Speed is very nice. That's plus 24 melee attack and plus 45% speed. I think if you overcast that, that's a longer duration, and that's in a 40-meter radius. That's really nice. You're certainly going to see the rune of speed in almost every single matchup that he's brought. So if you bring a Rune Lord or you bring Thoric, you're certainly going to see the Rune of Speed at every matchup. And also the Rune of Slowness. You're certainly going to see these two runes a lot. So Rune of Slowness, that's going to be negative 40% charge bonus, 45% charge speed, and 45% speed. If you then also overcast that, that goes up to 60% for all of them. That's going to be really nice. Forge Fire ability has changed. It's going to be negative 15 armor in a 40-meter radius. That's pretty nice. And then obviously Thoric's Rune Armor will be plus 15 armor, plus 10% fire resistance there in a 40-meter radius around Thoric on his, just on his person. Locus of Power has also changed. So in a 100-meter radius, you'll be seeing any casting spells will also cause minor explosion damage. And not normal explosion damage. You know, if you do like overcast damage, you're just going to be getting minor overcast damage. So yeah, and I think... Oh, and that's the other thing. Rune of Wrath and Ruin, when overcasted, not just does fire damage, but also does armor-piercing damage. So I don't think you're going to see Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin. You won't see Rune of Negation or Oath and Steel. You'll see Rune of Breaking, Rune of Slowness, and Rune of Speed. But always Rune of Speed and always Rune of Slowness. I think the other two you'll always see. So that's quite nice there. Yeah, indeed. Let's have a look, see what you guys are saying. Nagarythe looked great though, and Frosty got a buff, sort of. Did Frosty get a buff? I don't know if Frosty got a buff. Alright, so we're going to move on here. Yeah, so we just went through all of the rune stuff there. And then we can go on to Little Warg. So Vindictive Glare upgrade. So Vindictive Glare got massively nerfed, which is really nice to see. AP missile damage 25 to 65, so AP went up. Base missile damage went down massively. Projectile numbers went from 10 to 5, which is really good. Mana cost went down, but obviously projectiles went down, so that's really good. Explosive missile damage went up. Explosive missile damage went down as well. So base weapon damage went down, AP went up, projectiles went down. Now projectiles is the big one. Even when you overcast it, you get less. You normally double your projectiles, but they've gone down massively, which is really, really good. It looks like here, yet again, we're going to be getting another nerf to Burning Head. Burning Head's going to go from a base damage of 14 to 12. That's a huge negative. That's a 20% debuff. That's pretty hard. That's pretty hard to take. I think that it probably won't kill Burning Head, but it will certainly make people question it for sure. Law of Death, it looks like aspect of the Dread Knight added causes fear, added magical attack. So it looks like it's been changed. There's no potential to cause terror. It is gonna just imbue fear, but it'll also imbue magic attacks as well. That could be really nice for certain factions that don't have it. So aspect of the Dread Knight coming in for chaos can be really nice, adding that poison and etc. Adding that magic attacks in, etc. Aspect of the Dread Knight upgrade, fear, add magic attacks, mana cost went down, recharge time went up by a second. Soulblight duration went from 25 to 18 seconds, base weapon damage from 30% down to 25, AP damage went down from 0 up to negative 25%. So it looks like AP weapon damage has been buffed. Base weapon damage has been negative, and duration has been negative as well. So, a couple of changes to Soulblight, nothing too much. Soulblight, when it's been overcasted, duration has been nerfed, and the same as in general. Okay, pretty standard, pretty standard. Enfeebling Foe has gone down. I like that nerf. Yep, Enfeebling Foe strong, so nerfing that is not a problem. Upgrade as well has been nerfed. Not really too sure why. Maybe just because it's just nerfing Law of Shadows in general. Smoke and Mirrors, I never bring Smoke and Mirrors anyway, but yep, so that's been nerfed. I'll bring it even less now. Bestial Surge has been nerfed from Law of Wild. Law of Wild is really strong, so that's nice to see that change. So Dissolve has changed. There's going to be lots of changes here from the Law of Wild. It was probably top 3 Winter Magic in the game. So who's on the Beastmen Hype Train? Yes, sir, I am on the Beastmen Hype Train. Yes, sir. Let's see what you guys are saying here. I've just missed out what all of you are saying. Yeah, it didn't even occur to me that the Shadow Walkers didn't get a price increase like other poison skirmishers. Shadow Walkers don't have poison. They don't need that. You spam. You guys, you got 1,200 gold from. Oh, sorry, Shadow Walkers. Sorry, I was thinking of Shadow Stalkers. Hey, Ducky, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Sorry, yes. They didn't get a change, but they're still pretty strong. They're still pretty strong. They need a price reduction. They are worse now. Yeah, 100% Davina. I could agree with that. I think perhaps they were overlooked. Maybe I will message Ducky later the fact that they weren't changed, because with that change in poison, I think Shadow Walkers should get a bit of a buff in price cost. Maybe go from 1100 to 1050, something like that. It might be quite acceptable for them. They were in a bad way, and they just got worse. Maybe they could go to 1,000. Maybe they could go to 1,000. Oh, hey, Ducky's in. So looks like yeah, Ducky. Looks like here something that I didn't notice here for high elves. Obviously, there's going to be one poison change here for. Obviously, with all the poison changes, everything else got a cost change. My boy Nakai is now thick. Yeah, it looks like he took a lot of Throg's fat on board, and yeah, changed that there. But also you can see here the Mistalker Faith Bearers, they got changed, but there's no changes here from poison in regards to the Shadow Walkers that have poison. Maybe that's something that you and I can bring up in the changes. So where were we? So we're still on Winds of Magic. So we were now on the Law. Yeah, here we go. We're now on the Wild. So Wild's been changed. So Dissolve. Mana cost went down massively. Duration went up. Recharge is now shorter. Change from AoE to a single target, which is interesting. Not too sure why that's been done. Melee attack goes down by -24. Leadership hasn't changed there. Speed, normal. A bit of an increase there. So it looks like it's going to be just a little bit like a the old school Wrath and Ruin, but like nowhere near as powerful. Just communicating melee attack and speeds, and you just put it on a single entity that you'll get a little bit more often, and mana is 4. You can certainly see that. You can certainly see Dissolve coming in a lot here for the Beastmen. Certainly if you want to, like with the Rush faction, you just pop on a unit you want to destroy, and yeah. Orcs orcs being nerfed for the most part. Yeah, I think they'll be. We'll go through that in a minute, HGM. We'll go through that in a minute, buddy. Viletide, mana cost has gone up. I thought Viletide was super strong anyway. Target range 200 meters to 100. Oh, that is a huge nerf. That is a huge nerf. Okay, you'll probably see a lot less. I mean, Viletide was probably one of the reasons you brought Lord of Wild. I think Viletide was exceptional. Base explosive damage, I don't really care about. I mean, that is going to be an increase, but these just kind of ruin it. And it's changed from common to uncommon, which means it's got more expensive, essentially. So if we see at the top here, you got those changes. I think it also go from a base 100 to base 150. So it's gone by up at least 50 cost. Okay, that's ruined Viletide then. Viletide upgraded, mana cost has gone from 19 to 13. Still 100. Base weapon increased. AP is also increased from 7 to 10. That sucks for Viletide, but okay. Traitorkin has gone down in mana. Traitorkin upgraded, down in mana. Speed from 48 to 25%. Okay, that's a bit of a nerf as well, so that makes sense with the mana cost change. Duration went down. Mana cost increased for Mantle of Gork. We also have an upgraded version of Mantle of Gork. Oh, nice. So that'll be coming in as well. That'll be really nice. Wild form here for the Law of Beasts. Duration time's gone down. Base weapon damage. I was looks like it's going to have these same changes here as Soul Blight. That's really nice. I like that. But obviously it's basically going to be a reskin Soul Blight, but on your units. So it'll be increasing AP and also base weapon damage. And it looks like it's going to be, you can pop it more often. Upgrade is going to be the same, I'm pretty sure, as well. Yep, looks like pretty much the same. Don't know why you would overcast it if that. I think this is a mistake. I think that'll be 44 to 38. Duration 44 seconds to 31 from Impenetrable Pelt. Speed from 24% to 0. Melee defense increase. It's like it's going to be a melee defense increase instead of a speed increase. I think it was a speed and physical resistance. It was 20% physical resistance and increased by 24% speed. The 0 to 24 melee defense makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. That is a huge buff to impenetrable pelt, and that can certainly see itself more in the competitive scene. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. That actually justifies itself in my head a lot more for certain. Yeah, for sure, for certain things. I like that. I like that a lot. Overcasting it is going to be the same. That's interesting. Maybe overcasting is going to be AoE then. Yeah, it must just be AoE then. Instead of being a single target, be AoE. It must not be an error then. Curse of Arena, duration's gone down. Accuracy hasn't changed, but melee defense has changed. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. These two spells here made no sense to me before, like the speed, having speed and negative accuracy. Obviously gives them multiple uses in different ways, but they didn't synergize too well together. All of the buffs and debuffs didn't synergize together, but now they synergize very nicely. You can have physical resistance and melee defense, and now you're going to be having negative melee attack, negative melee defense, and I think it's negative armor, I think. How do you update Law of Beasts, but don't buff Vargolf Summon? I think they've nerfed it all. So transformation of Kadon has been increased. So that's going to increase Vargolfs. That's also going to increase Eagle Summons, which is a massive negative for those guys. And most of that's going to be due to... Oh, no. Sorry, beg your pardon. It's just going to be Manticores. Okay, I like that. I like that then. It's just going to be Manticores. I want to have my ears popped by that summon sound. Yeah, hopefully they've nerfed that sound as well. That'd be nice. So Shield of Sapphire, 11% down to 10%. Don't disagree with that. That's going to be the only change there for that, for High Magic. Law of Pestilence. So Plague Rash, 12% down to 10%. I agree. Mana cost 5 to 4 for Blessed with Filth. Don't really see Blessed with Filth at all. So those little changes, yep, they look small, but they can be quite big, especially like the change in mana. Yeah, because that could be AoE, right? That's going to be AoE effect with imbued poison, but also poison. That's going to directly encompass the poison changes, so that's quite nice. Pestilence Birth, 14 to 16. So that is going to be Plague Monk summons have gone up by 2 winter mana again. Yep, not sad about that. Toxic Rain, 12% down to 10%. Looks like all speed things are getting a nerf, which, yeah, I don't mind that. So Laura Stealth. Who has Laura Stealth? Is it Skaven? Even with the nerf to Poison, Sisters of Thorn, and the new Curse of... will continue to be decent. Yeah, Curse of an Arrow will be good. My computer died, and they would recover, and they could recover 0 data from my hard drives without doing extreme recovery methods. That cost me an arm and a leg. Dude, I'm so sorry, Finch, man. That really sucks. Dude, I'm really sorry about that, man. Yeah, I thought so. I thought Laura Stealth was Eshin. Okay. Runic Magic. So we can see here, Forge Fire has been decreased in cost. That has been changed there. So negative armor. AP weapon damage has been changed. It was a passive. Is this a nerf? This is a constant. So it's a constant negative 15 armor around them. And I kind of think it's a buff. And the reason I think it's a buff is not only is it cheaper, but it also has state negative armor. That 12% armor piercing increase. If you've got really low armor piercing, yeah, you know, it doesn't really buff things like Dwarf Warriors, Longbeards. Like, it's not going to help them. But the negative 15 armor really will. That really will. It will not be... I think it's a good balancing mechanic. Because obviously you can have lots of AP for great weapons, but negative 15 armor is going to be good for those. It's going to boost Longbeards and normals and Dwarf Warriors, but it's also going to have a little bit of a negative there. And overall, is it a buff? Yeah, it is, but it's very small. Very small. Rune of Negation. Yeah. AoE to single target. Recharge rate from 90 to 120 seconds. Yeah, and also it costs 3 seconds to pop as well. That's a pain. 3 seconds to pop. I don't understand it. Ward save 22% to 40%. But that's going to be Rune of Negation in general, right? So Master Rune of Negation will that still be 40%? I'm not sure. But it's only on a single target. And duration's gone down by a second. So it's very difficult to say if that's a buff or a debuff. Probably a debuff in my personal opinion, I think. I think having 22% in a 40-meter radius is better, in my personal opinion. Master Rune of Negation, duration 18 to 40 seconds, AoE single target. Yeah, so that's got, you see that this has got negative there. War save 44 down to 40%. I think that should have gone to 60% if it's going to be single target, right? The fact that's a huge nerf. Yeah, Master Rune of Negation probably won't get picked. I don't think. This will never get picked. You can see Rune of Negation getting picked, but Master Rune of Negation, nah, it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Rune of Earth and Steel, you won't see it. Master Rune, yeah, won't see it. You might see Rune of Earth and Steel, but you won't see Master Rune of Earth and Steel. You won't see it. Rune of Earth and Rune, you probably won't see it. Probably won't see either of them. Locus of Power is really nice. That's been changed from effect wide to map wide to 100 meters. Used to give plus 15% magic resistance. You've lost that, but it's actually going to be giving enemy spellcaster suffer. I actually think that's a bit of a negative, but I also like it. Actually, the 15% magic resistance was really nice. Map wide, that was actually really strong. But this is okay. This is good, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's a bit of a nerf overall. Obviously, having a map wide effect, the plus 15% magic resistance is huge for the Dowie. 40% is no joke. 40% is no joke, but it is only on a single unit. It did increase in duration though. That is the one benefit. I just don't like the Rune of Negation, but I like I think the Rune of Negation's got a buff, but I think the Master Rune of Negation got a nerf. I think, for sure. Slayers with 40% damage reduction, never going to happen. Yeah, you're just going to use Rune of Speed. I don't know why you'd use Rune of Negation on them. Yeah, 40 seconds is nice. Yeah, no, I agree, dude. I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think it's going to be worth the cost. Like, I can see this working, but it's not gonna. It's going to be a single target. I think the new meta for the Dorse is going to be wide anyway. I'm thinking it's going to be wide rather than small box in the league, because that's just not going to work anymore against certain factions, especially with AoE damage getting changed. But this is my personal opinions, right? This is my personal opinions. But yeah, feel free to chuck your opinions in. I'll be very happy for you guys to change my opinion. I think Rune of Negation is really nice. 22% is quite nice. I think it's a slight nerf overall, but I think this fits the meta of a lesser box build though. You're not gonna be able to box. You're gonna have to onion a lot more and go a lot wider. Maybe I'm undecided about this. Maybe I'm undecided. I'm undecided. Gyrospan with new Dowie meta with refill ammo. No, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Like, you will see that, but that's not going to be the new meta, because it's just too easy to counter. Where are you making the tier list for the DLC? I'm doing this after I've done this. I've got the tier list here, so we're ready to go on that tier list. The Rune of Speed just... Yeah, the Rune of Speed is a plus 45% speed and also 24 melee attack, which will be here. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it. I'll be able to find out the duration of time for you. Let me check. So duration of time for that is going to be... It's only 18 seconds, but I think you double that if you overcast it. So that'll be 36 seconds, which is quite a lot. I think of the 3 spells... I think of the 6 spells, the 3 you're going to see the most are Rune of Speed, Rune of Breaking, Rune of Slowness, and then I think it will be Rune of Negation as the 4th one. I don't think you'll see Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and I don't think you'll see Rune of Oath and Steel at all. I can't see them being worth it. I don't think they're gonna have much use. But that's obviously what I think, right? I think the most you'll see, obviously, Rune of Slowness, then probably Rune of Speed, Rune of Breaking, then Rune of Wrath and Ruin. It's probably what I think we'll see here. Especially with all the increased cost as well. Like, having plus 24 melee attack in a 40-meter radius is huge for the dwarves. That is so goddamn huge. Like, they're already massively thick, good melee defense. Also, if you go with Thoric's Rune Armor in that 40-meter radius, plus 15 armor as well, plus 10% fire resistance. Like, Rune of Wrath and Ruin's nice. Rune of Negation is nice, but I think Rune of Speed is just... It's going to be so good, I think. I think that's the biggest change we got here. Chances are, if you use your gyro ammo before the battle was already going, using your good favor. No, it's true. It's true, Bunnies. It is true. Northern Chaos can struggle. Spirit Leech is a good way of dealing with it. Fate of Buna as well, but that's obviously a big investment. And then Skirmish Cavalry. The Rune of Wination, it will only be a single unit. You can't area of effect it anymore. So there's no area of effect to Rune of Negation. So you can only pop it on one unit, which means you can only pop it on one Slayer, or you can only pop it on one Ironbreaker. You can't pop it on multiple units anymore. So that solely is the reason why I think especially the Master Rune of Negation is a bit of a nerf, and Rune of Negation has not really got anywhere. I think 22 to 40% is really nice. 24 seconds is decent. I mean, 40 seconds is still nice. Don't get me wrong. 40 seconds is a very long duration of time. But it's one target. It is one target. In an elite build, it's probably a buff. In... yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sold on this being... I'm sold on this being a bit of a negative, I think. Bit of a negative change. But that's my personal initial opinions, right? So we'll see. And most importantly, cyberbully all the dwarf mains. I love it. Not when there's 5 of them. So abilities. So Frenzy have gone from 8 to 10 melee attacks. And these are all the changes we want to see. So Frenzy, from melee attack from 8 to 10. This is the counterbalance, the reduction of 2 for the majority of the Frenzy noted above. Charge bonus has gone from 8 to 10%. Base has gone down though from 15 to 10%, but armor piercing has gone up. So the addition to armor piercing has changed from the base weapon damage. These seem to be pretty statutory changes in the current meta. And then poison has changed as well. All 20% down to 15 as we talked about. And speed has gone from 24 down to 15 as well. I really like the poison changes. Frenzy is still yet to show itself. 10% AP weapon strength is interesting. Because that's also... yeah, so I think I like this. The Brass Cleaver has gone from 9 to 10 melee attack. That's really nice. That's a nice buff. I don't use this anyway. Potion of Full Hardiness gone from 36% charge bonus to 40%. I don't think that's going to get it picked anyway. For 67 gold, I don't think you're going to see that. Unbreakable is nice for that duration of time, and that charge bonus can be good, but I don't think it's worth it. Deadly Onslaught that's a nice buff. Charge bonus has gone up, and it looks like cost has gone down. So maybe you could see a couple more Deadly Onslaughts here. Maybe, yeah. Especially on people like Carla France, etc. That could be very nice. Flammable, 36 down to 35 speed. Evasion 6% to 5%. Chilling Aura has gone down by 1%. Aura of Protection has gone down by 2%. Okay. Primal Fury has changed, so 8% to 10%. Speed has gone from 12% down to 10%. So that'll probably make Centaurs down to 94 speed rather than 95. Tell us more about the rune of... Forgotten nation that the High Elves got, please. Yeah, indeed, indeed. VP also got left out, to be fair. VP got no changes. Sorry, give us a second, guys. I got text right here. All right, so primal fury changes. Okay, to increase the charge. That's pretty good for them in general. Blood greed was changed, so cost is 244 down to 100. Leadership from 15 to 4. Melee attack went up by 5. Charge bonus up by 10%. Auto deactivate out of melee removed, so it looks like they have it all the time. Recharge time 0 to 60 seconds. Added recharge context recharged in melee. Okay. Slaughter Hall's cool. Cost went down. Melee attack went up. Okay. I'm not a big Beastman player, so these changes don't really mean too much to me. So I don't know how this is going to affect them. I don't know if anybody else can update on that in here. Blood greed is that only? Blood greed is only on. That's going to be only on. Minotaurs, right? I can't really comment if that's a bonus or a... I mean, leadership's gone down by 9. Melee attack has gone up though, so that's pretty nice. Pretty sure they have decent melee attack stats anyway. Charge bonus has gone up. Looks like it has a recharge time now, but it looks like it's recharged in melee, so maybe that's a balancing there. Must be a bit of a buff because they've made decreases for those Minotaur units, so it must be a bit of a buff. Slaughter Hall's cool. I'm not sure what that's in relation to. Unrelenting Warherd, so condensed 4 abilities to 1. Single version based off the version 3. Melee attack got decreased. And Horn of the First Beast got an increase in charge bonus as well. So that comes on the Lord, I think. Blood Sun and Bretonnia got an increase, so got from 8% to 10%. So I think that is only on Leon Kerr. That is when he's below 50% health. You get this. Lance formation got a buff and a debuff there for charge speed. That's just all formations. Fleur de Lis's banner, oh, that got a buff. Okay, so 9 attack and 9 defense, to 10 attack and 10. That's nice. I like that. I kind of liked her banner anyway. I thought her banner was quite strong, but that looks like it's getting a nice buff. Dark Elves, Dark Run in the Heart Sword. Now that got a buff. Ooh, okay, and Enchanting Beauty got a buff as well. That has just made her a lot stronger, in my opinion. Because she didn't get any increase to costs, I don't think. She didn't get any increase to costs as far as I'm aware. Nope, she got no increase to cost. That's interesting. So looks like that's going to be a negative 20 melee defense. No, 20 melee attack and 10 melee defense. So that's a +2 melee attack negative and a +1 melee defense negative. Blood Shield's Kane's gone from 6 to 5%. Okay, that seems fine. Fear of Kane, an extra charge bonus. The Kraken Helm's gone from +9 to 10 melee defense. That's nice. So there's going to be no changes in cost either. So just nice little buffs here for Dark Elves. Dark Elves seem to be getting some really nice buffs. So the Chill Blade, the only difference is still going to be a -5 melee attack, but it's going to go from 12% to 10% speed. That's just pretty standard over the board. Kindle of Fury, increased melee attack, decreased charge. And Trial of the Blades. Who comes with Trial of the Blades? I'm not too sure. I think what I like least about all the changes is how we are. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't think Chameleon Stalkers are going to be any good, mate. I don't think they're going to be good. If I'm truthfully honest, I don't think they're going to be good. AoE spells, damn, also, yeah, AoE is strong. AoE spells have got a massive buff. I actually generally think Dark Elves have really got a buff here. They've really gone up, in my opinion. Okay, so it looks like the rune of Stoicism, I believe that's how you say that. Removes Unbreakable, added charge defense versus large, change from active to passive. Okay, I like that. Flash Bomb, from self-target to enemy, so it's not just around yourself anymore. You can literally target in a 75 meter. You have 75 meters to target on it. Rune of Courage. So this is going to be lots of in-game stuff. So that is going to be single player, single player, single player. Oh, Great Book of Grudges increase. Let's go from 9 to 10 melee attack. God damn. I generally think so. Grombrindal's going to go as a lord. The top 3 picks are going to be. So the top pick will be Thorek Ironhammer, without a doubt. He will be the top pick. It will then be more than likely the Slayer King at 1250. Naked Slayer King will probably be the next pick, and then it'll probably be Belagar, and then maybe the High King. I think the High King, that actually. This sounds really stupid, but that changes a lot. Hammer of Angrund has been increased to +1 melee attack, charge bonus as well. Okay. High King, charge bonus has changed. That's really not important for the dwarfs. Iron Warden Shield is 12% down to 10%. So that's a bit of a nerf. You don't. That is single player anyway. Single player. Single player. Ooh, that's an interesting one. So the Gatekeeper's Belt's been increased. Now, I like that. And that's a massive increase. And the reason why that needed to be increased is because it just kind of sucks. It just sucks. But that doesn't make it that much better, but it makes it better. I don't think it's still worth the cost, just because I believe you have to be below, is it 20% health for it to activate? You have to be below 20% health for it to activate. That only becomes helpful if you have the same ability that the High King has, right? So the High King gives +8 melee attack, plus charge bonus, plus base weapon damage, map wide. The Gatekeeper Belt makes sense, because obviously you have to get that when you drop below 50% health. You get the Gatekeeper's Belt when it drops below 20% health. Now this, obviously, their 40% is huge. 7% increase is massive. You're talking about a good 20 to 22% increase there. That there could really benefit the selection of it, but I still don't think it justifies it. I mean, what you could do is you could pop that there with, because obviously that's going to be on the Rune Lord. Then if you do pop Rune of Negation on himself, that's 80% damage resistance. Now that is the time that I could see the Rune of Negation coming in, giving himself 80% damage resistance when he is below 20% HP can really help. Star Metal Plate getting increased as well, that can really boost the cheap Lord. He's going from -9 to -10. Ooh. I don't know if that's going to be the normal Rightling Rune Fangs. That's just going to be the Sterling Rune Fang from 9 to 10. I don't know if that's going to cost there for in-game as well. It looks like here, the White Claw, I think that's a buff. That's a buff. So the White Cloak of Ulrich, that's a buff there for Boris. -1 melee attack for -1 speed. I will take that any day of the week. Fleet-footed has been changed by increase. Emergency vent now counts as fire damage. That's really interesting, but you can't bring that anyway because that's the RO. That's the in-game special. So that's pretty interesting stuff overall. Logic versus Empire and the Coast. Can you nuke down the front line with the Stalkers? Yes. You probably could. How effective would it be? I don't know if it's going to be any more effective than Javelins. I don't think. I think CA talked about buffing the range weapon in the trailer or the patch notes, which hopefully will make them good. Yes, I agree, Ducky. In their current state, I don't think it'll be good. Hey, quite quiet, Mr. Blackthorn. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing really well. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yes, the nurses fanatics are very welcome. So here we go. So the boss loons, initial charge from 0 to 15 seconds. Recharge rate from 90 to 45, which that's also quite a nice change considering we have this as well. And added only can be recharged in melee combat. Woo! That's going to be the same here for the spinning loons. It's going to be the same here for the 8-peak loonies. So very, very nice in general. Language of the Boys has been nerfed as well, so that's going to be AoE from 40 to 30 meters. Duration is much less, it's going to be half, but it does go down in cost. But that's a massive nerf there from Language of the Boys there from Grom. Lucky Banner has also a ginormous nerf as well. The cost has gone down, but melee attack from 40 to 24, duration has gone down by 5 seconds as well. So that's a really nice nerf. Degrade in its ear has also been nerfed a little bit. So 16 leadership down to 8, duration 20 has gone up to 21, and the cost has gone down. So big nerfs here to Grom and all 3 of his abilities, not including the 4th, but don't really care about his axe. I don't think his axe was too powerful in general. That's pretty standard across the board. Word Zag increases, physical resistance down to 5%. That's standard across all units that have that. So it'll also be here for the high elves as well. Yeah, pretty same stuff there from the best of the best there from Grungor Ironhide. It looks like everything that was 9 is now going up to 10 with the Dragon Slayer's Fang, but you won't be seeing that unless it's a single player. Mither is now from 100 meters down to 75, so maybe it hasn't been changed on its speed. I think you were right then, Neck a bit. I think you were correct. So Blizzard Aura is -9 to -10. Attuned to Magic's been changed. The Star Lance. Ooh. So a really nice buff for the Star Lance. That's going to be 50% charge to 60% charge. That's actually a huge buff. Sacred Incense has been changed. Been changed. Speed is increased for the Shadow Crown, but nobody cares about that. Shield Stone of Isha has gone down there by the standard 20%. So, yeah, that's pretty good overall. I like that. Shield of Stone of Isha was pretty powerful. It allowed you to get 64% physical resistance with Phoenix Guard, which is just so strong. Swiftness of Itzel has been changed. That's 35 down to 32 seconds, and the speed has gone from 36 down to 25. I don't know how you feel about that, Ducky. I think that's a bit of an unnecessary nerf. The speed nerf would be fine. Duration, I don't really know why they've done that. That seems a bit of a huge nerf for something that they haven't made it cheaper either, so I don't know why that's been changed. Protection of Quetzal has gone up by 12 seconds to 35 seconds. I believe that's 24 melee defense and 30 armor, I believe. Armor, it's also gone up in there for there as well. War Drum has been changed, so speed from 6 down to 5%, charge has gone up by 1%, so not too much of a change. Sunburst Standard of Exotl, missile resistance has gone down, and melee defense has gone down, so a bit of a nerf for that. Will you be seeing that as much? How do you feel about these two changes, Ducky? Do you like the changes here for the Sunburst Standard of Exotl? So not only has the mount got more expensive, Sunburst Standard has been nerfed as well, and Swiftness of Itzel here for Grimlock as well. Yeah, all of them has been. Easy fix for loons would just be... I think Harmon, I think the changes that have been done are pretty nice, for sure. Master of Heavens is 9 melee defense to 10 melee defense. Yep, seems pretty fine to me. That's pretty standard stuff. Art of Sotek, so base weapon damage from 5 to 0. Removed poison contact effect. Add damage over time effect. Sotek's poison. So there's going to be a change here for the Art of Sotek. Blade of the Ancient Skies looks like 16 melee attack to 15. Charge bonus increase. Base weapon damage increase. AP damage increase as well. Okay, that's pretty nice. Golden Death Mask has gone down. The Horn of Kygor's got a charge increase, but everything else is going to stay the same. So that will be, that's what? Plus 8 leadership, plus 24 melee attack, and then more charge. So that's really nice for the Horn of Kygor. Primal Instincts has gone down by 1%. Yeah, okay. I think there's going to be some more nerfs as well here coming from Norsca. I believe the majority of these are nerfs. So speed nerf to Frostbite, physical resistance nerf there as well to stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 1 Berserkers 22 down to 20. So more nerfs here for Berserkers and Marauders. Runa's Flesh has gone down as well. No change in regard to cost. Charge bonus though for Frenzies of Assault has gone up. Flaming Axe of Cormac, now that's only going to come there on the Lord here for Norsca, but he'll get an increase in attack, and so will the Vicious Assault too, but that is campaign, I believe. So Warp Discharge here for the Skaven, cost has gone up. Strength in numbers has been reduced on speed, pretty standard stuff. Speed has changed, melee attack has gone up here for Treacherous Raiders. Lucky Helm, Lucky Helm's been changed. That only pops, if I'm correct, when he's losing in combat. Is that correct? I believe that's when he's losing in combat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, I needed that. It's not that broken anymore, to be honest. They were never used 3 casts. One single cast on chosen units, making them 50% HP is more than enough to win a game. Yep, true. That's why you never see chosen anyway. Just don't see chosen. They're too easily dealt with by Winds of Magic. Mazda got triple nerf, cost increase on Zlak, worse item and worse poison on Stegodon. Yep. Pretty big nerfs. Charging chosen into Fanatics probably isn't the best idea. Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Thank God they nerfed Norska. Yeah, I think they've kind of nerfed Norska into the floor. All of these are negatives, in my opinion. Cloak of Shadows also got an increase there from Stickitch, and the pipes also got a more of a negative charge increase. Tomb Kings, the Crown of Nehekara got an extra charge bonus, which is really nice. That's going to be very good there for the triple threat from Cetra, also from the Tomb Prince, and also the Necrotect. Vampire Coast, Magical Void actually got a buff. Oh no, sorry, no, it didn't. Sorry, I thought I saw 40%. It got a negative. We never really saw that anyway, or at least I didn't in the matchups it was played. Magical Void is quite expensive. I believe it's a rare item. It's a blue one. It's quite expensive. But Charms went up from 9 to 10. Now that's huge. That's a huge increase. And Vambraces of the Sun has been changed. I believe that's in the wrong section. That should be up here, I believe. But yeah, that's nice in general. I like that a lot. Vampire counts. Helmin's Blight, speed decrease. Heart Piercing got a charge bonus increase. Honor and Death went down by % Red Fury up by charge. And charge as well for the Black Side. So lots of, a couple of bonuses there for the Vampire counts. Mark of Khorne has gone up by charge bonus. That's only a good thing for them. That's a very good thing for their Exalted Heroes on Manticores. That's very nice. And Wood Elves got quite a few changes indeed. So it's like Howl of the Forest went from 9 to 10. Charge bonus increase here for Wild. Ooh, the Horn of the Wild Hunt. Now that's a nice change. That's a really nice change. Logic, we talking about Fanatic Ball thing? Yes. We never knew it. I agree, Ducky. I agree. We never knew it. But it's like Horn of the Wild Hunt. That's going to be a really nice change. That's actually a little bit of a buff there to Orion, which is quite nice. Banner of the Hunter King as well. Charge bonus plus 2%. Banner of the Eternal Queen's gone down negative. Tenacity has increased charge bonus. Twilight Helm negative. The Dragon Mosque as well. This is things you guys don't care about because you can't get them. So battle fixes and bugs. Fixed an issue that stopped 360-degree fire on Great Stag mounts for the Glade Lord and Glade Lady. So it looks like there's going to be no 360-degree shooting on the Great Stag mounts. Fixed an issue where interrupting a projectile spell could allow the player to cast it without cost or cooldown. Okay, so it looks like there's been some Winds of Magic fixes. Fixes to Glade Riders as well. Part of the Hunters. Okay. Fixed an issue that had Dragon Ogres use Zod's visual effect for their animations. I've never seen that. Chariots will no longer collide with invisible dead bodies. Okay. Throgs from mere line breakers now apply rattled effect. Looks like there's going to be lots of stuff here as well. Campaigns and multiplayer unit fixes. All Slan units no longer count towards rare single entities. Okay. Great Stag Knight mounts were counting as rare single entities. Looks like they've just gone down. It looks like they're just going to be common then, so I think there's maybe going to be negative in cost. Vampire Fleet Captains no longer count towards range capped units. Fixed an issue where some Wood Elf characters, Eagles, were counting towards high elf Eagle caps. Okay, so that seems to be a lot of the stuff going through here. So what are your general thoughts, everybody, here on all of the changes? What do we think? Let's catch up with what you guys were saying. For Wood Elf, Orion, Cav builds incoming, sound the charge. Yeah, I mean, that increase is pretty good. That's a 10% increase there. Like 6 plus 6% extra charges is nothing to be shabby about. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, in respect to all the guys that have put the hard work in, so shout out to the models here that have done it. I'll leave that there on the screen for a moment for you guys to look over. And this is the bit I'm sure a lot of you are going to be waiting for. We're going to go into the next part here, which is going to go through what I think what's going to happen. So what are you guys happy about? I'm really happy about Fnatic changes. There's lots of changes that have come in here that are really nice. And the reworks have done some really nice stuff. There's been a few strange things, but there's been some nice stuff as well. Of course, Aspects gave it AoE. Nah, man, can't get the DLC. Stream is bugged with pay save, so I can't charge my Steam balance. So I'm pissed. Benji, if you need any help, buddy, send me a DM about your issues getting the game, buddy. I'm sure I can sort you out. Logic talking about Fanatics. Death Guard were nerfed to OP. Yeah, I don't know why Death Guard were nerfed, to be quite honest. In general, they have been, but there are some nice touches, and there are some aspects of the Dread Knight giving magical damage. I think that's actually a really big buff aspect of the Dread Knight. So it used to give it's plus 8% leadership, and then can cause terror. The fact that it now imbues fear, it now also gives magic damage, and I believe was it armor piercing. Is that correct? Aspect of the Dread Knight. Oh, added fear and magical attacks. Okay, that's really nice. That's really good for things like Chaos, etc. I think that's going to be really handy here in the meta. Because obviously, like, Chaos really struggle with that magic damage. It means you don't have to pay. You don't have to take aspiring champions now to deal with magic or ethereal units. Logic, I already wrote to Steam support. Okay, buddy, awesome. Basically, everything stays the same except Beastie Boys get stronger. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff. Best changes to the patch is Spellweavers no longer goes bald once they die. What? You can't use PayPal. I'm sure we can sort something out for you, Benji. I'm sure we can. All right, so I guess here we'll move on to the next bit. So we're now going to go to the point where I think a lot of you are going to have your opinions. I'm going to have my opinions as well. And this here is just a prediction of where I think it's going to go. This is my personal opinions, and we will have a conversation here on each one. And I'm sure everybody will have their own individual opinions of where you think certain factions should be. I expect a cost increase for Savage Biggins. Yeah, I expected one as well. Blackthorn, I thought they were very strong. They did get a negative if we do drop back here. I believe they got a negative to... Where's Greeny Boys? I believe they got negative melee attack, but I don't know if that was Frenzy. Yes, negative melee attack. I don't know if that's because of Frenzy, though. So, drum roll. So here we go. Obviously, a lot of you guys are going to disagree with some of the stuff I say. Please respect that these are my opinions. You are more than welcome to your own opinions as well. But guys, if you have been enjoying this so far, please smash that like button to let me know that you have enjoyed this. That would really help me here, and also really helps grow out the live stream to the wider YouTube audience. Obviously, the more likes or dislikes if you don't like it will be an interaction here for YouTube, which will then send it further into the YouTube space. Also, if you guys are still enjoying all this content, I'm trying to bring you content every single day. Please feel free to subscribe, as I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. That would be very, very helpful, and I really appreciate all of that. So thank you if you do happen to do that. You can also join my Discord. It should be there in the description. I'll actually leave one here for you now, just so you can find your way in if you want to. You guys can then go in and find all of the stuff I have coming forward. I have tournaments coming forward, so it should be lots and lots of tournaments for the new DLC. So we're getting lots of stuff there for sure. Didn't notice that you were nearly at 400. Yeah, I'm nearly 400. I'm really, really happy about that. Like, you guys have been awesome in supporting me. Yeah, so let's jump into this. Yeah, so feel free to join the Discord and check out all the awesome stuff there as well. Right, so let's jump into this. So, Norska. We'll start with Norska. Norska have had a lot of negatives, and also some matchups that they did generally okay in. Like, I think, like, they could do okay against Beastmen, but I think, like, Beastmen is now very difficult. I have to do it. I have to do it. I think they're in the E tier. I think they are in desperate need of a DLC. I think they are severely struggling, and I think they've had nothing but negatives coming forward in this patch for a faction that already was struggling. Logic equals subrunner subscriptions. I can make myself subrunner in the Discord if you guys like. I saw that you guys made yourselves like runners for everything. That was hilarious, by the way. I absolutely loved that. But Norska is for sure an E tier for me. They don't have many brilliant matchups, and they have a lot of matchups that they struggle in. Logic, could we send our predictions of this? You can certainly talk about it with me as I'm going through. Beastmen went from there is no F tier here. It's just going to be E tier. I don't think I agree with that, Venge. I don't think I agree with that. I'll move on to High Elves. No. We'll stay with Tomb Kings. I think Tomb Kings didn't really see any changes at all. If we go back here, we'll look at no Winter Magic for them really changed. If we have a look here as well, so let's go through to... I don't think there was any Tomb King stuff at all. Lizardmen should be a little bit later on. Norska, Skaven, Tomb Kings. So Tomb Kings saw almost no changes. Negative to poison only really affected Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, but they got a negative for that as well. Reduction here for Necropolis Knights due to poison as well. And Cetricon hiding in the forest. Okay, not that important. And then there was also an increase to them. So I don't think they've changed at all. I think they're a solid D tier. They have some great matchups. They have some ones that they're really good balance here up against, say really strong factions such as Lizardmen. I think they do really well there. I think they're also in need of a DLC at some point. I don't think they're amazing. I don't think they're bad either. I think you're not half wrong with Venge. I think you're not far off. Beastmen were never F tier. Yeah, I can agree with that, Deadly Bunnies. I don't think they were ever as bad as people made them out to be. They definitely shared the limelight. So this here, something you guys need to understand as well, just because I put something in a D tier and I put something in E, B, C, whatever it is, everything within that tier, I roughly consider it of the same power level, right? That's what I consider the power level. Dark Elves for me as well has also like increased massively. I think Dark Elves, we'll go with High Elves. I think High Elves is an E tier again. I think they've had no love. Nothing's increased for them. Only things have got worse, whilst everything around them has got stronger. Beastmen wasn't even match up, it's now just a struggle for them. They're really an expensive faction. They're just not going anywhere, and they were already struggling before. And being that they have other factions that are doing better against them, that have more utility as well. Also, I think Dwarfs have got a lot more items against them that they can certainly fight up against High Elves. They're one of their best matchups against Dwarfs. It's just got worse for them. Wait, TK's D tier. What would you think TK is then, Cypher? They didn't change, really. High Elves deserve no love. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. But no, I think they're E tier. I think these two are certainly a solid E tier. And then I think Dark Elves have been buffed really nicely with AoE damage effect as well. Soul Stealer for Marathi. Marathi's had a huge buff. Malekith as well with Soul Stealer. I think they've really jumped up. Maybe B, maybe C. But they certainly jumped up. I'm going to put them in C for now. I think they certainly jumped up in where they've gone. They were certainly on a level pegging here. So I think before it was something like this, these three together. But I think now for sure you're certainly going to be seeing them jumping way above these factions. Soul Stealing and all the stuff that have come in is really nice. Heartrend and the Dark Sword, Enchanted Beauty also getting their changes as well. Speed changes really don't affect them that much. They've had some nice bonuses, and I think it certainly jumped them above this pack down the bottom. If you put High Elves in E, I agree with TK. Seems like more everything. I think the difficulty here is, I mean, High Elves have they have one or two nice matchups. Their two excellent matchups were Dowie and also VC. Dowie is now a lot better for the Dowie, and VC have not like really received any difference. I think VC would still struggle. But apart from that, no changes, just negatives as far as I'm aware. If we go here as well for some of the changes down the bottom for High Elves. Where are the High Elves? Empire, Greenskins, High Elves. So they've had lots of changes. A lot of all their stuff is just negatives here. It's just all negatives apart from the Shadow Crown. But even then, that's campaign exclusive. Everything else has just been negative. The Star Lance is the only thing that's increased here. but you don't really see Imric anyway. Imric's not the competitive pick you're going to bring. It's just all negatives. There is no positives. They haven't changed. If anything, they've got slightly worse. Nowhere near as much as Norsca, right? I think Norsca is on a tier of its own. I think in reality you could do this and you could justify it. I think Norsca is way and above at the bottom, I think. Yeah, I think without doubt HGM. I think without doubt their best one is VC and Dwarfs. I think I'm going to keep them in E though because I think Tomb Kings is better. But we'll move on. I think Empire is either B or C. Probably B. They've got some really nice abilities they can do. They're one of those factions that are great overall at everything, but they're not amazing at anything, and they can certainly deal with a lot of factions. They don't have many weaknesses, Dwarfs being one of them. The Dwarf matchup just got a little bit worse, but everything else hasn't really changed. I also think as well, like the Lizman changes are really not going to affect the matchup either, and Lizman is a quite nice evened one. Dwarfs hasn't changed, it's still going to be bad. Beastmen might be a bit more of a struggle, maybe, but I don't think that's changed much, to be quite honest. VC will never win that matchup. So I think, obviously, if you disagree with me, feel free to put a shout out here in the video. I still think, though, Vampire Counts A tier. I still think they're a very strong faction. We can see here in the patch notes, they really haven't changed. There's been no changes to them as far as I'm aware. Vampire Counts have had little changes here. Heart Piercing got an increased the charge bonus for Black Scythe as well, which is obviously going to be on that Black Coach. Vampire Counts here have also had some other changes. Most of it's going to be Frenzy, which is a bit of a buff in general anyway. Poison here, which is a change. Corpse Guard got a mass increase. Crypt Horrors was a nice buff as well. Blood Knights did get a reduction in attack, but they've got Frenzy. So in general, Frenzy is just going to buff in general. It's going to give more AP here as well. So that's something to take into consideration. I think they're an A tier. I think they are strong. Well, where would you put them then? I think the only other way is you put them in B tier, and the reason they put them in B tier is for the fact that it is now Beastman favoured up against VC. VC has some brilliant matchups, but they also have some terrible ones. I tell you what, I'm going to put them in B. I think they might have dropped one tier, and the reason I think they might have dropped one tier is because Beastman, like, they just lose. They just lose here up against. Yeah, I'm going to keep them in B tier. I think they've dropped from A to B. Actually, I'm going to change my mind there, and I think because Dowie's got harder, I think Beastman is now Beastman favoured. They lose to Wood Elves, just period. They lose to Wood Elves, and the High Elf matchup is still the same. Yeah, for sure. Chaos A tier, still A tier. No changes here in the meta really from them. Warriors of Chaos should be here at the bottom. Mass change here, obviously from the Lord of Change. Other than that, looks just fine. Chaos Warhound's getting cheaper is not a bad thing either. That's just going to be the change to Poison. So yeah, looks good. I don't think there's any changes at the bottom here for them at all. Also, like, one of their better matchups was against Greenskins. Like, they were used as a good counter Greenskins. And with Greenskins getting nerfed, I think they certainly jump up. VC Beastman is no way Beastman favoured. People just need to update their playstyle. But that's what I'm saying, right, Deadly Bones? I think for now, it's because of all the changes, it is Beastman favoured at the moment, right? I think that will level out. I think it will level out. Skaven, A tier, for sure. They're definitely A tier. There's no doubt about that. They're a very strong faction. I think people need to update in the meta. Those that still play it and play it a lot, they're good. And there's been some really nice changes here as well. All bonuses. A little bit negatives to the speed, but everything else has been given a buff. I think this is nice. The Cloak of Mist and Shadow is quite nice because obviously you see Snickage quite a bit. Lucky Helm doesn't really matter. I can't remember what bonuses they got otherwise. But I think they're still a strong A tier faction. With Greenskins getting nerfed as well, that's a matchup that's going to be a little bit nicer. Where's Skaven? There's been some changes with Frenzy. I think Frenzy is a nice buff as well. Gutter Runners. Poison also getting nerfed even more as well. They don't rely on Poison as much, but Think getting a bit of a buff. Yeah, I think so. I think still A tier. This is a difficult one. Vampire Pirates are strong. Yeah, that's why I've dropped them down, right? That's why I've dropped them down. I think Beastmen is worse for them, and so is Dwarfs. Everything else has remained the same. So if anything, they've dropped a tier in my opinion. This is difficult. I think maybe a C tier faction for Vampire Pirates. The Dwarf matchup certainly got harder, for sure. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Which was already one of their negative ones anyway. That was one of their first picks. So if I count them as their first two negative picks, then it's pretty negative. Beastmen obviously have got massive improvements, so them going into this matchup is going to be better for them. So yeah, C tier seems fair, I think. I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me with this one. I don't think people are going to agree with me. VP is probably D. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I think they've got way much more going for them than Tomb Kings. I'm going to put Wood Elves in the A tier. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with that, but they are super strong. WWC certainly showed that as well. They're a super strong faction, good mobility, good range. They've had lots of good DLC stuff that comes out, excellent lords as well. There has been lots of negatives for them, is the only thing. Lots of negatives in the recent patches coming out, but they're still super strong. They do have some weaknesses for sure, but even those weaknesses, like the Dwarf matchup was just unwinnable before. I'm not saying maybe it's got a tiny bit better for the Dwarfs again, but it's now winnable. It is now winnable, and I see people bringing this against them. I see them bringing them against Empire as well, and they're winning, and they're doing well. They are a strong faction with very few weaknesses, Bretonia being one of them. But with also the negative to poison, probably just benefits them even more in that specific matchup. But otherwise, in general, it does negative them. I agree. With VP D tier 100. I think VP are better than TK, in my personal opinion. TK feel better / equal to VP. So yeah, I think A tier for them. Bretonia still A tier. Maybe B is arguable. Maybe A is arguable. Poison nerf to them is quite huge, but Faye didn't get any. I think Faye actually got buffed in general. I saw a bit of testing, and I'm pretty sure she got a buff. Faye, I don't think they've changed too much. Negative of poison is going to hit their archers, but they're still just going to go archer spam. I still think they're going to be a strong S tier. Wood Elves get countered by just Swarmy, Shield. Honestly, Wood Elves can't beat Orcs or Lizards, hence should be A, not S. I don't agree. Also, there's going to be lots of negative to poisons, right? I think this is a pretty even matchup. I think they're strong. Like in the WWC, they had the highest win rate at the end for the very, very top players. Man, I never felt Bretonia as that strong. Bretonia really don't have many weaknesses. If you really truly think about it, they are very good up against High Elves. They're very good here up against Wood Elves. They're good counter against Wood Elves. There are many factions that they really struggle against. Beastmen maybe got a little bit more tough against Beastmen maybe, but I think they're strong. I think they're really strong. They don't really have too many bad matchups is the thing, and I think that's what really defines the S tier is the limited bad matchups they've got. Wood Elves have really cured theirs against Dowie. Dowie was the first ban every single time, and like for example Skaven, who was an S tier, their main ban is Wood Elves. Same with Chaos, main ban Wood Elves. Vampire Coast, main ban Wood Elves. Like, they are just a pain to deal with. They are just so exceptionally tough with all the top-end factions to deal with. Same with Dark Elves, their main ban, Wood Elves. Yeah, Norska as well. I think Wood Elves is a good ban. Wood Elves are tough to play against. They are certainly an S tier, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the poison one with the poison main point change to poison really affected Bretonia, and I think because they have such a good counter up against Wood Elves, which is another S tier faction, they do well against Chaos, they do well against Norska, they do well against High Elves. They have lots of good stuff. One of the negatives is Dwarves. The Dwarves have got stronger, so there is a justification they could be A or S, but I think they're going to be stronger than Skaven, and I think they're stronger than Chaos, so that's why I've put them in the S tier. Greenskins still S tier. Even with all the negatives, I still think they're going to be very, very strong. yes, they've had negatives, but I think they are still up there. I think they are certainly one of the top 4 factions that are going to be very, very tough here in the meta. They're going to be top picks for sure, and we can say the same for Lizardmen. Lizardmen are without doubt, still S tier. I think. Poison, obviously, that poison F is going to be huge. They've got more items coming in. They're very versatile. Lots of lord choices. Exotol as well is quite a nice legendary lord coming in. These 4 here, I think, are the 4 that you're going to expect to see quite a bit. Brett could do well versus VC, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the 2 bad matchups here, and when I say bad matchups, a bad matchup is a matchup where you would expect them to win a minimum, like, you would expect them to lose 60% of the time or more. That's a bad matchup. An even matchup is like 55 to 45 or like 50 even, right? Anywhere up to 60%. If they have over 60% loss rate, like, for example, a keen example is Wood Elves against Vampire Counts. That's a bad matchup. That's a really, really bad matchup because that's like an 80% loss rate, right? Same for like, say, Dwarfs against Skaven. Massively bad. That's a very bad matchup. A bad matchup would be something like anywhere between 60 to 70% loss rate. Even is somewhere between 45 to 55, maybe even a little bit higher than that. But I think these 4 are going to be certainly some of the things you're going to still see in the current meta. And this is where it gets interesting. Beastmen have really bumped. They have really bumped up. Thought you meant VC counters Brett. No, I think it's the other way around. I think Brett did really well against VC. It's playable for both. Yeah, I think it's playable for both sides. I think it slightly favours Britannia, but I think it's a relatively even matchup. I think Beastmen, A tier. I think a lot of you guys are going to maybe disagree with that. A lot of the matchups that they struggle in, they now don't struggle in. And they're going to be getting really strong here in the future, I think. For example, one matchup is against Counts. Counts used to be like pretty heavily Count favoured. It's now Beastmen favoured. Like, with some strong assurance at the moment. I think, obviously, the meta will change. Beastmen have really jumped up, in my opinion. They've got lots of stuff and lots of entities that they didn't have before that can really help them against matchups that certainly favour big monsters. I think it also favoured up against Lizardmen as well, as Beastmen favoured now. It's one of the true counters to Lizardmen. It's Beastmen. Lizardmen really didn't have too many counters. They did well up against Greenskins. They do well up against Wood Elves, and they do well up against Britannia. Like some of the S tier factions. So having Beastmen that can actually counter Lizardmen is really strong. They do well against Vampire Counts, and they still have all their other good matchups in general. And they just destroy Dwarfs now. They just absolutely destroy Dwarfs. There's like no middle match anymore. They just destroy them. Darwi is difficult. I've left this one to last because it's painful. I don't know how I feel about it. It is difficult. It is difficult. And I know I'm going to get a lot sick for it. This is what you guys are saying quickly. I agree, Beastmen are A, not S. Yes, I think they're A tier. I think they're A tier. And I think this is roughly how it's looking for them. I think they're certainly a lot stronger than they were. They've always been decent against Dowie. They've always been very decent. I would say it's probably their third or fourth ban for Dowie was Beastmen. I would say it's now their second ban. Without doubt, it's now the second, if not the first ban. They are going to be so good against Dowie, and that means now I'm going to have to play against like High Elves, for example. You're going to be playing up against High Elves and Dark Elves a lot, as the Dwarfs, and even then the Dwarfs have got bonuses now, so against those sort of matchups. Alberic, Dowie probably going to be they're not B tier. They're not B tier. This is getting interesting. My most picked Brett Lords are Alberic and Rapans. I mean, yeah, they're also probably like the least competitive ones, but I think they're the most fun ones in my opinion. I really like them. I really like Alberic and I really like Rapans. They have some really cool, like gimmicky, like really nice bonuses, but I think obviously like Faye and like King Leon Kerr, they're just super strong. They're just super strong. Dwarfs is somewhere for me between C and D, and I don't know where to put them. They've got 3 very difficult matchups. And you can't ban all 3 of them. You need to ban Skaven, you need to ban High Elves, and you need to ban Beastmen. You need to ban all 3, but you can't ban all 3. So the current bans are going to be A tier, which are going to be Skaven and Beastmen, which means you're going to have to play against Dark Elves and High Elves, which is favourite for them, and you're going to have to play up against Greenskins. Greenskins obviously got a nerf, but it's still going to be a very tough matchup. It's not looking good for Dwarfs. I think even with the bonuses coming in, they're probably C tier. But it's not looking great. It's not looking great. It's really difficult to know. This is obviously not going to stay the same, right? This is not going to stay how it is. Having 3 bad matchups is not too bad, though. Yeah, but they're not just bad matchups. They're very bad matchups. They are like over 70% loss rate, right? These are ones that you must ban. These are must bans, right? You know, for example, if you are VC, a must ban is what else? It's a must ban. It's the same as if you're, say, Chaos against VC. It's a must ban VC. It's a must ban. I think this is the current meta, and like the main way that High Elves were doing well was against Dwarfs. They have some okay matchups as well, but nothing brilliant. They're 2 good matchups of these 2, pretty much. Dwarfs have gotten better, and the only really good matchup now, which is a must ban, is so like if this is probably roughly what I'm thinking. But I'd be very interested to know what you guys think. Logic, what is the link for the tier list? I just went on to tiermaker.com. Yeah. Fell dreads awake, fire and slaughter. Spear shall be shaken, shield shall be splintered. A sword day, a red day, ere the sun rises. Right now, right now. I don't know what that's from. Saying dwarves are as bad as VP is a stretch, in my opinion. Well, I mean, you could. I mean, are you saying it needs to be like that? Because I think, like, don't forget you got Invocation of the Heck Cheese here as well. And don't forget, like, one of the true counters to Greenskins is Vampire Pirates, right? Still a good counter is Vampire Pirates into Greenskins. Also, Vampires are a good counter here to Lizardmen, which are 2 S tier factions, which I think is something you don't take into consideration when you're making this tier list, right? The fact that they can counter 2 tiers, like, if they didn't counter so hard to these 2, they're D for sure. But the fact that you have them here as a must ban for the Greenskins is huge, right? It's a huge ban, because normally as the Greenskins you're going to be banning Lizardmen, and then you're probably going to be banning Vampire Couch, which means your main common counter is going to be Vampire Pirates. Wait, what? I like this expert talk, but truth be told, for noobs like me, it doesn't even matter if a faction is S or E tier. Yeah, this is just my prediction as well. Kislev here, of course, are going to be A tier. Kislev are going to be coming in with some amazing units. No, I'm joking. We'll put them back down here. That was from Lord of the Rings, the speech. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Saying dwarves are as bad as vampires is a stretch. I don't think dwarves have got many bonuses. I really don't. Now, I would ban Wood Elves and Greenskins / Dark Elves as Chaos over VC. Really? I think it's a very hard matchup to win. But, you know, I'm not a humongous Chaos player, but that would be my ban, would be VC. Zypher, you want them CA non-buffing him again? Let me know that. No, I don't think Kislev will suffer. I don't think they will. So what do you guys think about the? What do you guys think about this? I know you guys are going to have your opinions. The one really nice thing here about Tomb Kings is the fact they have a good counter against greenskins, and they're a good counter against lizardmen. They've got two good counters here as well, but they do suffer in other areas. They really struggle against the dwarfs. A good dwarf player, they should win. But you can do well. You can do well here. It's not an impossible matchup. So 60-40 in favour of the Dowie, I think. Because there's not as many Tomb King players as there are dwarf players. Leave my Kislev alone. Yeah, you leave Kislev alone. I really love the way Kislev looks. So yeah, that's going to be my tier list, guys, here for this. Is there anything here that you guys disagree with? Maybe see if you can disagree with it. If there's anything you do disagree with, maybe I'll try and justify it a little bit more. But this is where I think it is going to be going in the future. I think this is my prediction of what it will be for the next couple of weeks. At least probably for the next month. This is probably what we're looking at. There might be some changes here as well. This is also from my own experience and my own opinions. Obviously, it's never going to be perfect. This can't be perfect. This kind of system can't be perfect. Yeah, I can agree with the vast majority of the tier list, but not a fan of the tier lists. Yeah, tier list is a difficult one. Well, Brett's been S tier for a very long time. Give me 3 factions that have a very strong counter to Bretonnia. So, 2 strong ones is going to... I think the 3 strongest ones is going to be Dwarfs, Greenskins, Lizardmen up against Bretonnia. They've also had a nerf to Poison, so I said there was a justification for them being in the A tier. But if that's in the A tier, then everything else has to drop, because they're better than these 3. I think if I'm putting this in order of strength, you're probably looking at Lizardmen at the top. Probably something like this is in strength. I think Bretonnia will be the bottom of the S tier with all of the nerfs that have incurred. Obviously, Dowie getting stronger. They still struggle up against Greenskins. It's not a direct counter. It's pretty even, especially with the nerfs as well. And Lizardmen beat them as well. So, and they've had some more buffs. Although Mazda has had a nerf. So, the Lizardmen have had some strong nerfs as well. Yeah, TK do okay. The thing is for Tomb Kings, they have no excellent matchups, in my personal opinion. They don't do exceptional against anything. They have some bad ones. Not many. But, yeah. Chaos is good against Brent too. Yeah, for sure. Yep, you guys got lots of cavalry there. I mean, you get Elberic with Brett, and the Skrulls get run over really good. Okay. I mean, I'm always a fan of Elberic. He's so cool. Empire and Vampires have solid matchups against Brett, in my opinion. I would say Bretonnia probably has a favour over them. Depends on TK played. I don't mind playing Brett. Yeah, no, I think certainly Tomb Kings do well up against Bretonnia. They do well up against Greenskins, and they do well here up again. They do well. They have a good 50% against pretty much all S tier factions, for sure. Maybe slightly favoured than the Wood Elves in this one, maybe 55-45. They struggle against Dark Elves. They struggle against Vampirates. They struggle against VC. They struggle against Dowie. They struggle against Empire. Struggle against Chaos. They will certainly struggle against Beastmen. Yeah, I think it's they're a little bit of an empire where they have some excellent elements. They're great at everything, but they don't have anything brilliant, and they suffer in a few small areas. But I just think they're a weaker empire, in my opinion. I've seen Tomb King players win it. Vampires have zombie summons, which is a big win for the cav fight. Yes, agreed, Cowboy, agreed. But the cavalry is a lot better from Bretonia for the value, for sure. Empire can go infantry spam against Brett. Yeah, they can. I think also cavalry, like, yeah, there's lots of stuff they can do here. I think this is what I'm thinking. This can be mixed around anyway, these three. I think something like this. These two, this seems like this. If we go, so if the left-hand side is sort of the stronger ones in this unit, it's probably looking something a little bit like this, and obviously like this. This is probably how it's looking. Obviously, I could make more tier lists, but I don't think adding an F is really going to help. If you add an F, some of these you can maybe jumble some of these around. But if you make like an A+, you're certainly going to be having these two in the A+. You can have Wood Elves and Bretonia in the A+. But these two are certainly S tier for sure. They're pretty strong S tier in my opinion. Skaven could arguably be an A+ as well, with the other two here being an A. Yeah, but I think in general this is roughly what you're expecting. Yeah. Empire arguably best chaff infantry. Fair enough. Cowboy, I faced only halberd infantry as Brett. Me spamming cav, you just run over them as if Phoenix Guard peasants. I think even, but I played TK, Brett, and what else mainly, so I sort of know what to do. Yeah, I think Davina, the one problem we've got with Tomb Kings, and the thing, which is what I'm trying to do, like what I did with the Son of the Mountains tournament, where I really tried to show off Dowie a little bit more, is we don't see enough Tomb King mains in the game, like yourself, Legion. There's a few that main Tomb Kings that play them a lot, but there are not a huge amount that can really show what Tomb Kings have. And Tomb Kings can do well. They can do well, but I think they don't have any excellent matchups. It's why they're not higher. They do really well against the top, which makes them better here than the bottom guys. But like for example, Darby do really well against Empire. They also do really well against Bretonia. They do really well against Vampires, but they also have 3 strong negatives as well. 3 very strong negatives in Beastmen. In Beastmen, High Elves, and what's the other one I was thinking of? Oh, it's Skaven, yeah. TK problem is Tomb Guard just aren't good enough. I could agree with that, Cowboy Bob. I think they've got the same issues as you have with Empires. Like, they're good at everything, but they're not excellent at anything. They don't have anything special about them. Tomb Guard could use 20 more armor. I think they could have little buffs, I think, would be quite nice. Obviously, Burning Head getting nerfed is quite strong. I think that's actually a bit of a buff for the Tomb Kings. But like, if I had to remove a tier, I would probably put them in C with everything else. But I just can't quantify them being as strong as Dark Elves, Derby, and Vampirates. I don't think. There's maybe even an argument for Dark Elves to move up a tier. There's even an argument there. Soul Stealer changes, as well as all the buffs here as well from them, is really nice. But they've certainly gone up in my expectations. They've certainly become a lot stronger, for sure. Yeah, Burning Head got a nerf from base 14 damage to 12, so they've had changes there. 2 guys only have bonus versus infantry. Yes, they do. The ROR does. Yeah, I agree with those. I don't think Wood Elves and Brett are S tier. Okay. Ooh, I mean, Wood Elves are probably the most commonly banned unit in the game. First bans, probably the most commonly banned after Greenskins, obviously. I would put D in B tier probably. I don't think that they are as good as Vampire Counts. For sure. I don't think they're as good as Vampire Counts. Even for that matter, I don't think they're as good as Empire either. I think there is one man here that makes Empire as strong as they are, and that's Voltmar Grimm. I think Voltmar Grimm is very strong. I think I'm happy with that. I think I am. I mean, these two not being S tier, I mean, they're better than these three, right? They're kind like Dowie in that they have good matchups. Yeah, they do. They do well up against. They do well up against lizardmen. They get trashed by greenskins. They get trashed by wood elves, and they also lose to Bretonnia. They probably do well against Skaven, I imagine. They do well against Chaos. They'll do okay against Beastmen. These two pretty even, I think. They do go well against Darwi. I don't know how they'll do against Vampires. I've never seen Dark Elves Vampires match up. I imagine that even with Tomb Kings, they struggle against... No, they do well against High Elves, and, well, Norse's just struggling in general. I think the reason why they're S tier, right? So if you have like Wood Elves, let's say your Skaven is your main ban. Chaos is one of your main bans, I think. Even Beastmen, you could really justify that still as one of their main bans. Vampire Counts, for sure, one of their main bans. What else have we got here? I think even Dark Elves could be one of their main bans, for sure. You could certainly justify a lot of that. They do okay up against Greenskins. They do okay up against Lizardmen. And probably Bretonnia is one of their main bans as well. If they gave to DE and High Elves the Wood Elf mobility, they would certainly be way stronger. Yeah, I agree. Obviously High Elves are going to have the lowest mobility overall. Then it's going to be Dark Elves, and then it's going to be Wood Elves. Wood Elves have the highest mobility in the game, which at the moment is what dominates the game. Mobility just dominates the game at the moment. It really does. Dark Elves can do well against Brett, but I think Brett just have, like, their skirmish cavalry is, especially with poison, etc., is quite nice. They also have, they can just go really wide cav. If they go really wide cav, there's almost nothing Dark Elves can do. I don't think. You can just go wide, like, cold ones, but I think you still struggle. For sure. What else deserves to be the best at something? Yeah, I agree, Cowboy, I agree. But I think also if you take it to the WWC, I think they had the highest win rate in the last 64 by a significant margin. That's above Greenskins, that's above everything. They are hard to counter. They don't have many matchups they don't do well in. Dowie, they struggle, but they can certainly win that. They can certainly win it. But they do struggle. And Bretonnia. I think they're your two bans. Everything else they do respectable against, I think. For sure. What about TK versus Brett? We've already talked about that, CJ. We said that that's pretty even. Yeah, they had that. I think they had some silly statistic like 69% win rate in the top 64. Yeah, they had the highest win rate. I think Greenskins was third, I think. I feel very safe as Empire versus what else? Even. Yeah, even. 4 Peasants, 4 Battle Pilgrims. Battle Pilgrims have been nerfed a little bit. Then Cav, You Ride, and Ruin. Yeah. For sure, man. For sure. To be honest, stats in the last 64 can be a bit skewed since it's super low sample size. That is very true, Zyphon. That's a very good observation. That is very true. But the reason is because they're the best players in the world. Right? And if you want to take anything that's statistics, and the reason I sent the message in my Discord before about Dowie, if you look at the Dowie from the beginning players from round 1 and 2 compared to 3, 4, the Dowie win percentage goes from very, very high to like, I think he goes from like one of the highest in the first stages down to one of the lowest, simply because people. Oh, looks like Complex has sent his own one in. So Complex has said that he thinks Skaven, Greenskins, and Lizardmen are S tier. Beastmen, Wood Elves, and Bretonia are A tier. No, I don't think Tomb Kings are B tier. I don't think so. I don't think Chaos are. I think Chaos are a lot. I think Chaos and Vampire counts are a lot better than Tomb Kings and yeah, than Tomb Kings and Empire. I think. The engineers are going to be nice and they're going to really help with certain things. I'm not too sure about it all. Yeah, we'll see what happens very soon. Guys, I'm going to be probably finishing off here, but as of tomorrow's content, I am going to be running a sub-faction tournament. So all of you guys, get that brand new game, get it signed up, get it ready to go. I'm going to be doing a sub-faction tournament. We're going to be having loads more sub-factions coming into the multiplayer scene. So we'll be running here. We'll be seeing what all of the new stuff has to offer. It should be really, really fun here. So I'll be running that tomorrow when the DLC does drop. And then, of course, we're going to see how my faction tier list does uphold. And what I'll more than likely do is I'll review this in a couple of weeks, and then we'll see where we stand. With the nerfs in Mazda, camos, poison, dinos may end up being weaker despite units, to be honest. But I'm cool with that. Yeah, I think so. I think at the moment they're still going to be S tier, because I think a lot of the stuff in the S tier has had nerfs as well. Like poison has hit all of the S tier, including some of the A tiers as well. But I think in general, this is what I'm looking at. Prefer more badass units overall level. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so what's that about Imric? They look how they massacred our boy Imric. Imric got a buff, I think. Not enough. I think Skaven could be argued to be an S tier. At the moment, in the current meta, I don't think so, because it's just like... I think A tier. I think A tier still. They struggle against a lot of the things in S, apart from maybe the dinos. They struggle against Chaos. They'll struggle against Beastmen. They struggle against Vampire Counts. They struggle pretty much everything here in the top tier, which for me makes them not S tier. They struggle against everything up here, really. Yeah. Thank you very much, Davina, for hanging out. I appreciate that. I agree, but the camo shouldn't get price nerf, in my opinion. With poison nerf, maybe just get 25. Yeah, I think 50 was a bit excessive, but at the same time, it's what they felt was necessary. Yeah, poison across the... I mean, this is a very good example as to how powerful poison really was. Poison was across the entirety of the top tier, and that includes even if you throw Skaven up there, right? The entirety of the top tier was poison related. Poison was a huge element. Poison getting nerfed is really going to affect it, but poison is still going to be huge in the meta. It is still going to be huge. All of these things need to utilize poison to keep themselves in the S tier. If poison gets nerfed even more, you're going to be seeing some massive shift arounds here. You really will see some massive shifts around. And don't forget, just because, like, you know, you think, like, Skaven they struggle against a lot of stuff at the top, which is why they're not S tier for me. Chaos have some good matchups, but they also have some horrendous matchups here. And that's how I've sort of balanced it as well. Poison hasn't been broken, but it's been strong. It's been very strong. It's not quite broken, but the fact that it got a nerf has really balanced it out. Yep, Spirit Leech, Manticore's easy to counter. How you doing, Tank? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah, they're pretty comfortable to counter. Yeah, for sure. Champ Skink should be 800 along with Spider Riders. I don't agree with that. They're nowhere near as fast. Nowhere near as fast. The age of the chameleons is over. Or hell, these skink skirmisher overlords. I agree. How are we doing, Swiss Pikeman? Poison skirmishers to control the meta. Well, yeah, they all got an increase in cost, and then obviously got the negative to poison as well. So there has been some big changes there, and probably not enough to massively flip the meta, but still enough to keep this meta intact. And what High Elf do with Norska on the same level. High Elf smash Norska right now, and has at least a couple of auto-win matchups, unlike Norska. As I said, you can argue with High Elves being with Tomb Kings. You can argue with that. That's not that is achievable. You can say Dowie. Dowie have certainly got a buff in that respect, but their auto win is vampire counts. That's pretty much it. But in general, you're looking like something like this, right? And even in the E tier, even if they are in the E tier, I justify it by being on the same level, right? I think Tomb Kings do better than High Elves in general. Counts, yeah. Counts and Dawi for sure. Yeah, so there's only two, and they have a lot of counters to themselves, I think. They're really expensive. I just think the current meta isn't suiting them very well. They do win against certain things, but most things hit. That's why Tomb Kings aren't higher. They don't really have any auto wins, for sure. No, I mean there will be and there won't be, as well as they've had all those bonuses like to stop them from just blobbing and being overpowerful, like area of effect spells that cause damage would certainly have an effect as well. Changing stats for sure for elite infantry, and also like Rune of Speed could certainly be helpful. Rune of Armor Sundering as well can be nice. Have you seen the RuneSmith items so insulting? Yeah, they've been changed around. They have been. I went through it a little bit earlier. They have been changed around for sure. So it should be interesting. I think it's a minor, gentle buff for the Dowie. I think they've actually not moved. The only one thing I can think about justifying moving is maybe putting High Elves in D tier. That's the only thing I can justify moving, I think. But even then, I'm going to stick strong on my guns, and I'm going to say they're going to be E tier. I don't think they're strong. I think you overestimate VC. VC has some strong matchups, though, for sure. They do have some strong matchups. Miners didn't get buffed. Miners got nerfed. Couple Bob trying to play High Elves versus Chaos. I suppose what I'm with it. The runes are just new expensive gimmicks. Yeah, I can agree to that a little bit. I went through them, and like the rune of negation, I wasn't really too sure about how I felt about it. I mean, indifferent. Counts as strong. Yeah, I mean, counts as strong, for sure. Like, whenever I do, like, one example here, which is a good example, is if I ever do a sub-faction tournament, vampire counts generally always have multiple vampire counts in the end. Generally. Counts cannot do anything versus new Beastmen. They can, but it's going to take time, I think. Beastmen are very strong now. That's why Beastmen are in the A tier. Once they certainly struggled in, they don't struggle anymore. New runes are an improvement. I agree. I think they are in agree. But I think the reason why they haven't gone anywhere is because other factions have got stronger. That's why they're in the C tier. But I don't think they're as good as Empire. I don't think they're as good as Vampire Counts. I don't think Lizard's got buffed insanely. I don't think so. I can disagree with that. They've got a lot of negatives to all their strong elements. So, for example, if we go up to... Where are Lizardmen? So here's the changes. The main stuff you're going to be using, right? So if we get Master Mundi, negative Master Mundi, that's 100 extra cost. All Carnosaurs got an increase. There are some things that have changed, like the Ancient Salamanders and the hunting packs for the Umbral Tide are quite nice, as well as Razordon hunting packs, which is quite nice. But Bastillodon Solar Engine's got increased, they're quite common. Thunderous One, which is also very good, got an increase. Chameleon Skink's got an increase to a point where you will nowhere near see as many of them. There's other things like Winter Magic have changed and stuff, etc. If we go back down here to Lizardmen as well. Lizardmen also has some changes on swiftness as Itzel. Also had nerf to the Sunburst standard of Exossel. Yeah, Honokaigo got a buff, to be fair, but I think a lot of it in general was balanced out. Also with Poison. Poison was a huge negative for them. Like, Poison changes was huge. What was the Dragon Price buff? I forgot about it. Oh, +2 melee defense for Voice Dragons. +2 melee defense. Yeah, I think in general, I think it is heavily Beastman favored against VC. It is heavily at the moment, but I think it will level out over time when the players do catch up. It was a joke. I meant to say Dragon Prince's buff, but they are none. Oh, right, okay. Poison debuffs plus Loons debuffs. Skirmish Crab increased. I don't. Yeah, I think they've been leveled out, like, for sure. Before you got to say Greenskins were like S tier before, whilst everything else here was A tier, S tier. But now they're certainly S tier. What do dwarfs? What Dowie do in C? The reason they're in C is the fact they've now got 3 extremely hard matchups. They've now got 3 extremely hard matchups. I haven't played the new stuff, but Beastmen don't have the answer to Blood Knights. Yeah, it is. They do. Bob, they do. Yeah, Blood Knights are still really strong. Yeah, they just struggle. Beastmen, High Elves, and Skaven, strong, for sure. Those 3 pretty much delete dwarfs. They are like not quite auto wins, but they are strong wins. I'd say tank, yeah, for sure. I think Skaven. I think you're forgetting Skaven. I think Skaven is a strong faction against the Dowie. If you have a good Skaven player, Also, I think like tough matchups. So like really bad matchups, Skaven, Beastmen, and High Elves. They're very bad matchups. Bad matchups. Dark Elves. What else have we got here? Probably Greenskins. Yeah, at least those two. At least. They do have some good ones. You got Empire, Bretonia, and probably Vampires. But these two are pretty low, and like Bretonia. Yeah, that's a good one, I guess. I do not forget Skaven. I just don't think that they're that hard now. Okay, fair enough. I think they are, but that's my opinion. I mean, I'm very sure to be saying that's wrong, but I think if I'm banning two factions now as the Dowie, I'm banning Beastmen and Skaven. I think I'd rather play High Elves than I would Skaven. Master Engineer would be very good against Skaven now. Would be better. I don't know if it'd be very good, but I think it would be better. The new Beastmen SE counter Blood Knights. Yeah, well, they have regen, bro. And they have pretty good melee defense. I think it's 42 melee defense. They have regen, melee defense, the anti-large, armor piercing. They just wreck Blood Knights. Also, Blood Knights are a massive investment. Right, they're not cheap. And they're not as fast as Centaur throwing axes either. Logic, a high elf, cough, martial mastery gets removed. I've never really liked martial mastery. I would like to see that redone. But obviously it's one of those things that is really staple here for the high elves. So I wouldn't like to see it removed entirely. I'd like to see it just redone. The thing is, Scab, Scraith, Rip, Skaven infantry, and you provide ammo in the long game now, plus double slows means no fear of chariots. So the problem is, and I agree with you, Tank, the problem is you can't take double slows anymore for Dowie. Dowie can't take double slows. So because they're runes, you can't take two of the same rune. And you can't take two of the same slow, unfortunately. And I don't believe you can't take two of the same slow, as far as I'm aware. You can take the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and you can take the you can just take the Rune of Wrath and Ruin currently, but you can't take two Rune of Wrath and Ruins. You can't take two of them. You can't take two of the same slows. Same as you can't take two of the same nets. You can take different nets, and you can take a maximum of two, but it's the same for slows. Although for some reason you can take 3 Soulfires, which makes no sense to me. But there needs to be changes in the meta. I think they will likely change, but I think it's going to be difficult, for sure. You take 2 engineers and 2 slow grenades. I don't think you're going to be able to take them. I think in the rules it's not going to be allowed. I think at max you'll be able to take 1. You'll be able to take 2 reloads, but you won't be able to take 2 slows. It won't happen. People won't allow it. I don't think it's going to happen. And admittedly, it's a buff. The slows are a buff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the current rule set, you can't do that. Is the problem? The current rule set doesn't allow it. The only way you can do it is with a master spell. So if we pop into here, oh, just got sent a message. Balance for so if we take this into consideration and we pop on here and I get my picture up of all of the runes, so like you could partner up a Rune of Slowness and then you could partner up a Flash Bomb, but that's what you can take. That they're the only 2 slows you can take. So you won't be able to take. You'll be able to take 2 slows, but you'll have to take a Rune Lord then. But I think you're not going to be able to take 2 Flash Bombs. there's no way the meta will allow it. There is no way. Because otherwise you take 2 Flash Bombs and you take a Rune of Slowness. Or they allow you to take 2 slows, I think. Shame about the finals logic. Which finals, Hank? Like Marcus and the Light Wizard, toxic. Well, that's fine, because one of them is imbued ability, and then you also have, you can take the Luminite with a net, and you can take him with a net, but you can take 2 nets, right? But like, this is the same. You can take 2 slows. I actually do not think that flashbang will be limited rules at just 60 degrees slow. Yeah, I think you're allowed to be able to take the slow. I think the way it will work is you'll be allowed 2 slows in total. I think it's what you'll be allowed. I don't think you'll be allowed to take 3. And in that case, double master engineer will probably come in every single build. And then there'll be almost no reason to take a runesmith or rune lord. Yeah. I know yes you can, and also one's a lord, right? You can take 2 nets. No, Marcus and net is illegal. Not in banner rules, I don't believe. You can take his net, and then you can take another net that causes winter magic. 2 nets is allowed. I just don't think you can take any more. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So I thought you could take 2 nets. Yeah, so you can take Marcus net and Luminart net, but you can't take Marcus and the Light Wizard net. Okay, that makes sense. Full Slayer build plus double flash bomb. Lost some chariots. Yeah. So for example, in the current meta, I think for Dowie, it's going to be banning Skaven and it's going to be banning Beastmen, and then you're going to fight High Elves. I think that is the way it's going to go forward. Yeah, I mean, like, Inticity's ladder has its own rules, right? Inticity plays on the fruit rules. We don't play on the fruit rules. And for anybody that doesn't know, we are going to have a banner rules 4.05, and I think that's what the majority of us are going to follow, I think, more than likely. Because I like the fruit rules, don't get me wrong. Fruit rules are nice, but there are 1 or 2 elements of it I don't agree with. But I think we're all going to have that. We're all going to have that. We do not know what the rule sets will be in the new... Yeah, no, exactly, Tank, exactly. And that's why what I've got here, these are my predictions of where things are going to go, right? These are my predictions. I think in a B tier, the B tier is the lowest element where you could have a faction that you could pick it as a first choice, right? So you have the ability to pick it and then ban 2 comfortably and have a reasonable matchup. What I'm saying for the Dawson, the reason why I'm in the C tier is they can't ban 2 and then have a reasonable matchup. Either one of the 3 you ban here, either the 2 of these 3 you ban, you're going to have a bad matchup. You're always going to have a bad matchup, which makes it a non-first pick, which for me means it can't be B or higher. And I don't think it was B before. I think it was C. I think it's always been C, and I think it's going to stay at C. That max 1 chariot rule is only going to be for the new chariots. That's not going to be for all chariots. Right, so they can bring other chariots. It's only going to be that 1 specific chariot. It's only going to be 1 Tuskor chariot. That's it. You'll be able to take other chariots. They made them deliberately restrictive. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Not a light caster with a net. Marcus is illegal. I quote, an army may have more than 1 net, but no more than 1 between lords and heroes. Oh, okay, that makes sense, Bunnies. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I did think there was a scenario where you can have 2 nets. My familiarity with that is sometimes a bit all over the place. 3 High Elves and Skaven are impossible, but else. Beastmen. Yeah, Beastmen for sure. Beastmen is a auto lose, I think. No. I mean, I hope you guys, if you guys are enjoying the conversation, then we'll keep talking. Yeah, for sure. That's straight out of fruit rules. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Obviously, fruit rules are gonna have some different rules compared to banner rules, and there's gonna be some more rules coming forward with all the good stuff as well. Well, VC definitely would have more hard matchups than Dowie. 3 elves, lizards, and probably beastmen. But I don't think they have 3 auto loses. They don't have 3 auto lose, right? You can justify them as C. You can justify them. You could justify them as C. You certainly could, Tank. Yep, I could see that. They obviously first ban is Wood Elves for sure, and then your second ban is probably. Sure, there's another one. Sure there is. Trying to think of one, but I can't think of one. You're always banning Wood Elves first, I think. 100%. That's a must ban. Probably Lizardmen. Yeah, probably Wood Elves and Lizardmen are your two bans. Yeah. Yep, for sure. I think they're your two bans. They can do. They can do. Yeah, you're not wrong. And also, that matchup's been nerfed as well. Like, we'll go into it here. So we go down to the Wood Elves. We certainly see some nerfs from them. One of the big one here. Oh, I have to go up a little bit more. One big nerf is going to be this bottom one here, which is going to be the Hawk Riders. That's a nice nerf there. 50 gold per one. You know, you normally see 4 Hawk Riders. That's going to be an extra 200 there in that matchup. Also, there's some other changes as well, I'm pretty sure. Drych is getting a nerf. Skirmish Cavalry is also getting a nerf as well. Also, there is a nerf in the rules where you can only take 6 360-degree shooting units. That also includes the Lord. So, for example, you can't take the Sisters. You know, you can take the Sisters, 4 units of the Hawk Riders, and then you can take like 1 unit of any 360-degree otherwise. How you doing, Gorg York? I don't know, it may just be me, but I think Dwarves do very good versus Lizardmen. Even. It's even, I think. I think it's even. I think the biggest problem, and I said this on my Discord, right, is the reason a lot of people struggle with Dwarves is they're what we call they're like a Marmite faction, right? You either love or you hate Dwarves. There's no in the middle. But the people that love Dwarves play Dwarves a lot and a lot and a lot, like myself. If you play Dwarves a lot, you play them a lot, or you don't play them at all. And because you don't play them at all, or you play them a lot, when you play up against Dowie, you're going to come up against very, very good players, because they play them a lot. And because the players that don't like them, that do have to come up against them, they don't know how to play them, because they don't know how they work. So that's why I think a lot of people hate Dowie a lot, because they are a very box faction and they are very difficult to deal with because not a lot of people know how to counter them. That's why they do very well in 3 matchups, but they also do very poorly in 3 as well. And that's not even including playing up against Greenskins as well. That's not also, the 3 worst are going to be Skaven, Beastmen, High Elves. They also do pretty poorly here up against Greenskins. They also do poorly here up against Dark Elves. There are some ones they do certainly struggle in, for sure. And even then, they struggle up against Chaos a little bit in certain elements for a good Chaos player. Huge thing with Beastmen are that the engineers would boost gyro play. Yeah, for sure. But like gyro play is easily countered, just Harpies. Harpies counter them pretty comfortably. And now you also have the new spell, right? So for those that haven't seen the new spells and haven't taken the new spells into consideration, where is it? Where's it all a while? Dissolve. Dissolve has changed. So instead of being area of effect, it's a single target, and it has a negative speed now. So the Harpies are pretty easy to snipe out those elements. You've also got Skirmish Cavalry as well that can deal with it, that also has regeneration. Throwing axes can do some good work. They do struggle a little bit, but Harpies will do most of the work. Also, you have Manticores now. You have Manticores for Beastmen. So Gyrocopter play is actually not that good in that matchup. By the way, does Norska versus VP go? Poorly for Norska. Yeah, as a Rush faction, they have a chance if it is a small map, but other than that, no, they struggle. Yeah, Dwarf mains are nutty, bro. They are. I won't even lie about that. And any good Skaven player, and anyone that knows how to abuse the Dwarfs with Skaven, like, Natty Bobos just wreck. They just Warlock Giselles do so good in that matchup. They really do. Also, Tank, I also think like you're a very, very top end player as well, and this takes into account most matchups to a low, mid, and high tier. I use the same builds as what else to play versus VC. I didn't say it was good, just said you can do things. Yeah, no, I agree. There are things you can do for sure, as the vampire counts. But it is by far their worst matchup. It is by far. Like you wouldn't want to play it, but you can play it. You can play it. If you have a very, very good player at the top end of the game, you will really struggle. It is as tough. This matchup here is as tough as Skaven is against Dwarfs, in my opinion. Alright guys, I've probably got a couple more minutes, so if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to ask them down below. Maybe try and ask me a couple of more questions about some of these, why I put them in certain places. Maybe try and see if we can justify them a little bit more as well. In reality, I think High Elves are somewhere between E and D. If in doubt, you'd maybe make an extra faction here. You might even make F and put Nautical into F, really. Yeah, for sure. But this is roughly how it's standing. But if you guys have any other questions... I did lose to Energize with that matchup yesterday. Energize is a very good Lizardman player as well. If you want to see how Lizardmen go into Dwarfs, play Energize. He'll show you how good Lizardmen can really be. And Ducky will for sure show you how well Lizardmen can do. And yeah. So I don't know if we have any other final questions. Is there anything else you guys want me to go through whilst we are on the current? Oh, looks like I got sent a few messages. Looks like it's gonna be more from. Has anyone ever seen Dark Elves vs VP game? Rarely, but yeah. Thanks for streaming, Logic. No problem, Krell. Thank you very much for hanging out, buddy. Listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it there. Looks like we don't have any other questions. So I really hope you've enjoyed my breakdown here of the Silence and the Fury DLC and FLC. What it likely will be is I will be reviewing this at some point in a video rather than a live stream. Or maybe I'll do a live stream as well, but I'll be reviewing that here. But guys, what you can do for me is you can smash that like button if you enjoyed that today. It will really help me here push out my YouTube channel so it can really be spread to the wider community. Also, please feel free to subscribe. It'll alert you for all live streams and all the video content coming out here. Join my Discord. We'll be leaving a link right here in the bottom now, so you guys can hop on into my Discord, find out all the awesome tournaments. We have one coming here tomorrow. I'm going to post it up once this is done. And then you guys will be able to hop on to the tournament for the new DLC tomorrow. So there we go. You can fill it there. By the way, Logic, do you know what time the DLC comes out? Unconfirmed yet. Unconfirmed, I believe. I don't believe it's been confirmed yet. I think it's later. I think 5 PM BST seems to be in my head for some reason. Not too sure why. But yeah, feel free to join that Discord as well. Come see all of the awesome stuff. Have discussions here about the Silence and the Fury. Maybe discuss with me a little bit more about some of my rationales here behind my my picks here as well. Yeah, what I'm going to do now is, if you guys do want to watch any more content, I am going to be sending you... there is actually nobody going to be online now doing any other multiplayer content as far as I can see. No, there's going to be no one else doing any more multiplayer content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you over to Dame. She is another YouTuber here. She does mostly... she has early access and she does content here for single player. So you guys can go over there and check her out if you like, if you want to watch a little bit more Warhammer content. So feel free to pop over there and say hello from Logic. And yeah, just say what's up. And even if you just drop in and say hey from Logic and then just bang a like, that'll be awesome as well. Other than that, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this content. If you did like it, smash that like button to let me know that you want some more of this content. But other than that, take care of yourself during these times, and I'll see you all very, very soon tomorrow with the brand new DLC and an awesome, awesome tournament. Take care.